What's up, guys? Boogie back again. Welcome to the show, guys. I got some good episodes, some good videos I'm gonna be reviewing for you guys. Um, you know, and some of you guys suggested these in my comments, and also maybe I can put my Instagram down below if you guys want to send me anything, or my email. If you guys have stories you want me to react to, I'll put them down below in the in the comment section. Also, some videos I don't finish them. Okay. And because they're long, I don't want to do a full like 25, maybe hour video. So what I do, I react to specific points in a video that I feel you guys will enjoy, that I feel you guys will get some value or entertainment from. And then I put the links down below for all the videos, all the channels, people's channels I react to, people's content I react to, different channels and maybe TikTok accounts. I put all of them in the description. Some of you guys are also always, sometimes you complain, oh Boogie, you took too much. Yeah, but that's the use of my channel, is to react to content, is to give my own opinion, not to just watch other people's videos just for the sake of it. Then I wouldn't be talking. But I gotta give my own opinions because this is my channel, so I gotta say what I gotta say. But I put the links in the description for all the videos I react to. Why? Because some of you want to go support those guys. Maybe you like their content. Maybe you want to check out what they got going on, or maybe you want to finish the video. So I put them in the description, not in the comment section, in the description. If you click the description of the video, you'll see that there are links to all the videos. All right. So I'll be going through certain videos. There's a lot to learn. There's some entertaining things, there's some good advice, like the first video we're going to react to, that finally at least we have a lady who's admitting that, hey, listen, the celebration of being a single mother, it's coming to an end. There's a single mother is telling other single mothers that it's not good to be a single mom. Like, this is what I like to see, because when men talk about women should be stop being single moms, men get attacked. Women don't like it. Women say, oh, you hate women, why are you telling us not to have baby? But it's like, raising kids without two parents in the household is not good for the kids. It's not good for anyone. It's not good even for the parents, because there's a gap in the relationship between the kids when they don't see that both parents at home every day when they come from school. But we have a woman who's a single mom telling other women, please do not have kids, wait till you're married, or stay with your baby daddy, stay with your baby mama. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Listen, let's stop this fucking now. Let's stop it now. There is no village. Let me tell you, young girls, what nobody's gonna tell you. You got fucking 3 kids at 24 years old. You're getting ready to struggle. You're getting ready to cry. You're getting ready to be depressed. You're getting ready to want to unalive yourself. Okay? You're so in love with the baby daddy and you keep laying on your fucking back. You're going to be alone. Your friends that all think your baby's cute, while they're out twerking something cute in a cute little pretty girl, an outfit arrangement, you're going to be home with those fucking babies. Drowning in postpartum. Drowning in depression. Drowning in your fucking mistakes and decisions. And all your friends, oh, I'm your friend. No, ain't no fucking friends, babe. That's just what they are, your friends. They're not your baby dad.
I mean, finally, it's a black woman telling other women not to become single moms. Finally, because if it was a man saying this same message, we've seen men saying, hey, ladies, please don't become single moms. Please don't have kids before marriage. Please don't break up with your baby daddy just because of your feelings, just because he didn't text you good morning. Please, 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 please keep a two-parent household. And women say, oh, you hate women. Oh, toxic masculinity. But it's like, we have seen statistics talking about how two-parent household is so important for kids, and how they grow up, because for the kids would love to see both parents in the house when they come back from school every single day, seeing a mom and dad getting along. But what most kids see these days is the mom fighting with the dad, the mom talking trash about the dad. But finally, man, shout out to this lady, finally. And I hope the women will listen. And you can see in the comments, some women were listening and they like the message.
Nobody's going to tell you. Your mother's not going to tell you. Your father's not going to tell you. You're going to find out when you call them because you have a job interview and nobody can watch your fucking kid. And they're home. They're off that day. You're going to find out when you're down to the change in the middle of your console to put gas in your car. That love ain't all that. Love takes hostages and will leave you and your kids in fucking poverty and turmoil.
That's facts. Some women have kids with men because they want to change them, because they think it's going to save the relationship. In fact, some women have said on these social media platforms how they would rather be a single mom than to be married. They feel being married is like slavery compared to being a single mom. It's like one of those decisions can be changed, the other can't be changed. Like you can't change being a mom. Like you're going to be a mom for the rest of your life. Like you have to take care of another human being. But they feel that being a single mom is easier than being a married woman, than being a wife. In fact, they shame women who wait for marriage or who demand marriage from men before they have babies. Single moms do this all day. You know, have you guys heard about this thing of there is more baby showers from women than weddings? There is more baby showers from women than weddings. That's the state of the community.
So buckle the fuck up. Because I'm going to tell you what nobody's telling you. Them fucking babies are yours. And that man ain't never going to fucking change. This shit is hard. And I have more than a lot of you bitches. And I'm struggling. So let me tell you bitches what nobody will. Let me tell you what nobody will. Especially you young girls. Who keep laying on your fucking backs having all these babies thinking it's cute. I know what you're going through behind closed doors. I know you're crying yourself to fucking sleep. I know you're overstimulated and you're being a mean fucking mom. I know what the fuck is going on. So you can try to post your pictures and their cute little dresses and their shirts. But baby, I got two. One's with my ex-husband from a very formal relationship, okay? By the book. And the other is from a narcissist that I got with after. I wish I would have knew better.
But that's the thing. At the end of the day, obviously, at the end of the day, she had to blame the baby daddy. They always do this, despite her message. But let's focus on her message. Her message is good. Her message is good. Listen, ladies, at least it's coming from another woman. So that if Boogie says it, so that if another man says it, you're not going to say we hate women. Because at the end of the day, so the reason people don't think this is a serious issue is that if a man says it, if a woman says it, they claim there's no you're taking away freedom from women to do what they want because they call it my body, my choice. But at the end of the day, if a woman or if a man raises kids that are not good kids, I'm gonna run into those kids. They may rob me, they may become. I'm gonna find them in the community. I'm gonna interact with them in the community in some capacity. So that's why how everyone raises their kids is very, very, very important. So shout out to this lady. This is a good message. So if we can have more women like her telling other women that, hey, listen, I'm a single mom. You don't want to be a single mom. There is nothing good about it because they celebrate each other. Once women stop celebrating each other, becoming single moms, I think it will make a difference. All right, next. Sorry about that, guys. There's some noise in my background. All right, next we're gonna be watching Just Pearly Things. This lady was talking to these younger ladies about why men don't like boss babes. You know, the women who scream independent, strong, don't need no man. I got my money, I got my own degree. Very insightful from an old lady. But usually the younger women call the old lady a pygmy. But let's go into it.
And I'm curious because you're a bit older, so what I'm just curious, what are you you're familiar with red pill, it seems like. Do you see that older women get past, how do I put it, the guys they rejected earlier will turn them down later?
Yes, it happens a lot. It happens because you see the women and they think, oh no. I remember there was a man and he was, he didn't look, young guy, didn't look all that. Nobody was after him. He became a dustbin man, you know, nobody was after him. And they got older and he got more handsome and then he got a nice car and everything. Everybody's after him. You know why? Because they realized how much dustmen wanted, how much they earned.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they were after him, he didn't want them. He got some girl, you know, he was a dustman. I think he married like a lawyer or something like that.
Okay.
Because she saw his worth. And it wasn't how much he earned. It was a good guy with potential. But nobody wanted him at the time. But now all those women now, 3 children, 4 children. Why is a man going to want to take on you with 2, 3, 4 children? You know, over 35. Why?
That's true, man. So many good guys, nerds, they call them nerds, or they're boring, or they call them nice guys. Women reject them, especially in high school, or even in the beginning of college. The guys who do the right things, they go for the so-called bad boys, or the guys who have money, the guys who are willing to. Because let's be honest, when we're in college or in high school, there are guys who already have money who are willing to spend on the girls, But the guys who are called corny or boring, the nerds, the guys who are always doing the right thing, following school rules, just studying and studying for their examinations. Those guys are mostly rejected, if I'm going to be honest. Now, years later, which this lady is saying, years later, after having a couple kids, now they turn back. Years later, after the bad boys or the guys who had the money don't want them anymore, they come back 20 years later. They meet this guy they used to reject or they didn't see, who has everything going on. Now they want him. Now they're shooting their shot. But at that point, those guys are also usually like married or they have learned so much and they don't want to deal with that because men don't forget. And it's true. Like there are 2 things men don't forget. Men don't forget someone who'd stab them in their back and women who rejected him when he had nothing.
And what mistakes did you see younger girls make when it comes to dating? And what mistakes maybe did you make and you learned from?
I got pregnant on the pill.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, first time pregnant
Really?
on the pill. I was on the pill.
And you never missed a day?
Never missed a day. I was only on it for about a month.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and I got 1 child,
Mhm.
because I learnt my lesson. But nowadays it's like, it's too easy to go and get rid of a child. It's too easy to go and say, right there, I'm going to get birth control and I'm going to sleep with everyone because I'm not going to get pregnant. It's not going to bother me. But what the young people don't realize, every time they sleep with a man, you're giving away a bit of yourself. So by the time you've reached 35, there's hardly anything left of you because you've given it away to all these people. And they don't realize that men can sleep with women. It don't mean nothing to them, but women sleep with men and it's emotional. And every time you sleep with a man, you give away a bit of yourself. And that's what the young people don't realize, that they're just giving themselves away bit by bit by bit.
Do you think women have gotten better or worse over time?
Worse,
Why?
because they just think they're all that. They're independent. They've got their own money. They can do what they like. They don't need men. And then when they need the men don't want them. But they
That's facts. But I actually have to disagree with her with something she said that sometimes men sleep with women and they don't really care or they don't have any emotions. That could be true. But these days, women literally sleep with men and they have no emotions. They'll have a guy with a good dick. They will have the guy who has the money, takes her out on expensive dates. They will have the guy who usually, is the guy who gives them the emotions, who's always texting them, checking on them, giving them compliments. They'll have the guy who they use maybe for food or for the car. They have compartments where they place the men. So trust me, these days, Gone are the days where a woman would sleep with a man and the emotions grow. Oh, she's in love. No, these days they are heartless as well. They're like men. Like they will sleep with you and they don't care. It's like nothing happened. So yeah.
Do need men. They just don't realize it yet.
Why does a woman need a man?
That's what I mean. They just don't realize it yet. Because you try surviving on your own without a man. You cannot wake up in the morning and go through your whole day without having to rely on a man for something.
Like what?
Like everything around that.
Wherever you go, you get your petrol. Wherever you go and you get the bus. Wherever you the clothes that you wear in the shop, the designer. You cannot get through life without a man.
Men built the
Facts.
world. Like they do all of the hard jobs in society, everything that makes the infrastructure run.
I'm not saying we don't need men. That's not my view at all. But I just feel like
That's your view.
this is like that term left over. I feel like the things you're saying and the over reliance on men, that's what perpetuates that view, because it makes it seem like a woman literally can't survive without a man. And I feel like you're linking that, like one thing you mentioned earlier, you said that there's a link between divorce rates and when women were able to get access to birth control. And I feel like in terms of marriage, like when you're equating marriage with that's when a woman's gonna have kids and she's gonna take some of the man's income in that sense, I feel like I've lost my point now.
Of course, you've lost your point of view or your whatever you're thinking about, because you thought you're right, but you're wrong. You literally asked this old lady that, hey, listen, why do women need men? She went on to tell you every single day, everything that you do, there's a man doing, helping, whether it's the roads that you drive on, it's the power if it cuts off, the plumber that you need every day, the policeman. But so many times women overlook those things. Once they make some money, they scream, I'm independent, don't need no man. But your boss is a man. You know what I mean? Like the people who deliver the milk that you like to drink, the makeup that you like to use, the people who usually drive those trucks are men. So you need men. But it's funny that every time they get some money, women scream, I'm independent, don't need no man. But once you break it down for them, they lose their train of thought, like she is.
I forgot what I said to
But
begin
you say
with.
a lot of I feel like. There's a lot of feelings. Is there any, do you come from a place of logic or is this all feeling?
What do you think is
question.
feeling?
How
Then?
can you?
What do you think is feeling?
No,
from
because you
what I
say,
said?
I feel like. So
Okay,
I was just wondering if you're saying
So
that.
do you want me to say I know?
No, I don't know. Is it all feeling? If you tell me it's feeling, then it's feeling.
I don't think it's feeling. This is what I mean. I feel like women have. What do you want me to say?
No, that's just how girls
That's
talk.
how we
It's
say
how
it,
girls
isn't it?
talk.
Yeah,
All
what do
right.
you want me to
Okay.
replace it?
Go.
So, yeah, from what you said about divorce rates and birth control, I feel like that's where women have gained power in terms of they're not burdened financially. So they're free to leave. They're free to leave marriages. And I feel like that's another reason why I said, I feel like our generation is changing. So we are becoming more independent because it's not the same. Like, no offense, but like compared to now and 30 years ago, the amount of women that are educated, and then because they're more educated, they have access to higher paying roles. And
Yeah, more debt though. They have more debt.
Okay, but I would say what leaves women in a bad place financially is kids. And because we have access to birth control now, that's what I mean by I feel like we have power. And I wouldn't go to the extreme of saying a woman needs a man, but I wouldn't also go to the extreme of saying a woman can't live without a man. I feel like there's an in-between, but you shouldn't use extremes.
I think it's like,
We need each other. Like when men make money, they don't scream, I don't need a woman. They actually like, what woman can I take care of? Like, I gotta take care of a woman. I gotta provide for a woman. I gotta provide for my kids. As soon as a woman makes some money, I don't need a man. I'm independent. I'm a boss, babe. I got all the money. I got the power. Like she's talking about, like she got the power because she has some money. Like seriously? And she's talking about, oh, the divorces are so high because women are making money. Even women who make money want a man who makes more money. So until women are like, okay, we want relationships with men, But we don't expect you to pay all the bills. We don't expect you to pay on the first date. We don't expect you to buy us gifts. We don't expect you to pay the rent. You pay your own rent. I pay my own rent. Until women actually do that and don't resent men for it, then we shall believe them that they don't really need men.
Extremely easy to say that. All right, then, if you was young and then you had a child and then you say you didn't need the man, you'd be all right raising a child on your own because you wouldn't need a man. You just got your child. Whereas you might not think that you need a man when you've got a child, but actually you do. But you won't realize that until you see the consequences through your life and through your child's life. Because when women have children, it's all right to say, I'm going to leave the marriage, because you're going to leave the marriage with the child, the house, the car, his money.
Yep.
You don't have to work again.
Facts.
So when you're saying that women have the power from like way back when, because I'm the oldest, so way back when in my day, I wanted, when I had to go to, when you go to school and they say, what do you want to do when you grow up? And you go and see the officer. 2 things I wanted to be, either a housewife or a lorry driver. And she told me those are the 2 most stupid things she ever heard her come out that room. And all through my life, all I wanted to be was a housewife. And all of my friends thought it was crazy. That was the worst job ever. But some of the most successful couples I know is with the woman at home, because the man brings everything in, but I can see you smiling as a young person. There's nothing wrong being a housewife and having your side hustle.
I wouldn't add.
You can have your side hustle. You can have your own business. You can have your own law firm. You can have everything like that and still be a housewife. And when young people look at it like, oh, there's something wrong being a housewife, wait till you're 35 and you're on your own and there's no man and it's just you and your pets. And then you're going to think, I've got my degree, I've traveled, I've done this, I've got my house, I've got my business. Who are you going to travel with? Your old friends, your old female friends, because nobody of any status is going to want to travel with you, especially if you've got children. So you might think that things were different back in the day, but things were actually better back in the day because people got married. I am one person, I believe in till death do you part. You shouldn't be allowed to get divorced.
Facts. In fact, the single mother rate went from 20% in 1960 to almost 70% in 2018. Now, the only difference now is the single mother rate is kind of reducing, but that's because women are not even having kids or having kids later and maybe having 1 kid, if that. Either way, both things are not good for the community. But I have a question for you guys, right? So women are saying they're divorcing men because they're making more money, that they don't need men. But if the divorce laws were to be changed and they say that divorce, whether the man did bad or it doesn't matter who did bad, you go with what you have, she goes with what she has. How many women would keep filing for divorce if they knew they were not going to get paid? If they knew they were not going to keep the house, if they knew they're going to split kids 50-50 and there's not going to be child support, would the divorce rate go high, low, or would women decide not to get married since they wouldn't be getting anything from the divorce?
Somebody should have to die before you get divorced, because that's what it says, till death do you part. And if more people went into marriage thinking, do you know what, get counselling, let me go and do this, talk to my elders, talk to my parents, then you'd have more successful marriages and it wouldn't seem so bad as a young person.
I agree with you. I'm not against marriage. I don't have anything against marriage, but I'm just realistic at in terms of the generation we're in. I feel like that's where a lot of the things you're saying, I disagree. And another thing that I feel like you're saying you need a man for is when you have a child, which I understand, because parenting is it's for 2 people. It's not for 1 person, regardless of if you're a man or a woman. You need 2 people to parent. However, I wouldn't say that a woman needs, like what you're saying about, so you're saying a woman that's 35, she's done a lot, like in terms of financially, she's had a lot of life experiences, but she's not with a man. You're saying her life is unsuccessful just because she's not got a man.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying she'll be successful, but will she be satisfied and won't she be lonely? Or she won't be lonely. What are you going to do when it comes to 50 and you're on your own? 60 when you're on? 70 when you're on your own. And if you intend to be on your own, like say 35, if you can say, right, you know what, I'm not going to settle down to my 35, start planning your pension. Start planning that when you're old or you're disabled or you can't manage yourself, who's going to look after you? You might as well start planning these things ahead, because a lot of people don't look ahead like that. But if you had a husband and you're married, pensions and all them things. So if you're going to be like enjoying your life now, I had my pension at 18, so I was different. I was one of those early people.
I
But
have a
you need to
pension as well.
start planning.
I have a pension as
early.
well.
That's good. You need to start planning early and think about property and not traveling and things like that. Then I can say, well, if you're going to be on your own, fine, but be happy on your own. But can you be happy on your own at 60, 70, 80?
And that's
No, even men, like I believe men can manage being alone better than women. Like a man doesn't even need friends. He can really just live by himself. Women may not be in a relationship, but they always have groups of friends. They can't really be alone by themselves. They need the friends, right? But at the end of the day, both men and women need each other. Even men who can be alone, they get lonely sometimes. That's why they may also want to have their kids, something. They may need someone, because all adults, we are social creatures, so we need each other. But for some strange reason, women keep screaming, independent, don't need no man, I can be alone. But they have like 1,000 friends. You know, so without those friends, if you took away their girlfriends, they would be really lonely, if we're going to be honest. But what do you guys think about that? Shout out to Just Partly Things. Link down below to the full video. All right. Next, we're going to go all the way to whatever podcast. We're talking about makeup, men's preferences, women's preferences. Women don't like when men say they don't like makeup. So let's go.
How natural you liked a woman. Like, at what point are you drawing the line? But you answered it.
Oh yeah, no. So grooming, definitely prefer shaved legs, shaved armpits.
As long as your stance is that, like, you know, that's what you prefer, not that all women shouldn't wear makeup, then that's totally fine.
Well, hold on.
Unless.
Hold on. So, well, here's my crazy take. So let's say somehow I did a coup d'etat and I took over the federal government. Let me tell you my policy prescriptions on cosmetics. First off, I would outright ban cosmetics. I would actually ban plastic surgery too, unless there was a medically indicated reason for it. For example, fake titties, boom, straight to jail. Surgeon, felony. Also, if you're a woman and you get fake titties, felony. If you're a man and you get fake titties, also felony. So just a felony across the board if you get fake titties. BBL, I'm considering death sentence. I'm on the fence. Death sentence.
Yeah, Brian is gonna get canceled for this. They're not even gonna wait for him to make those laws if he's the president. They're just gonna assassinate him. Oh my god, that's crazy.
Like 10 years in prison for BBL.
Yeah.
Lip filler, misdemeanor. 1 year in prison. No.
It's basically all plastic surgeons don't have a job anymore.
I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Did you work for a plastic surgeon or something?
No, I own a gym.
Well, actually, they wouldn't be out of a job necessarily.
How people change their bodies the right way.
Because, for example, the origin of the body positivity movement was for people who had like disfigurements. And the origin of plastic surgery was typically like if somebody had like they got half their face blown off in World War I, the surgeon would, you know, to move through life with like a totally disfigured and disformed face would create like a difficulty, a burden in your life.
Right.
And so they would attempt to fix the face.
Or like a rhinoplasty for people with like deviated
yeah, that's fine.
septums and.
If I have,
Okay.
breathing problems, that's fine. There are medically indicated scenarios where I think plastic surgery is okay. I can't think of like really a scenario where if I grant, for example, that I'm fine with women, for example, who have breast cancer and need to have a breast removed. If I'm fine with a breast implant in that scenario, but I'm against these scenarios where it's like purely cosmetic, would you agree with me there?
Sure.
They wouldn't agree with him because they see it as my body, my choice. I want my freedoms, which I honestly don't agree with him either. I don't mind women, chopping up their bodies, surgeries, and things like that, as long as they don't attack men who don't like it. Because it's one thing for women to get their BBLs, their boob implants, breast implants, lip fillers, and things like that, and then they're trying to force men to like it. No, it's like you did your BBL on your own. If I say as a man, I prefer a natural woman and a woman without the BBL booty, don't say I hate women. It's my preference. Like, I don't have to like your BBL.
Now, what about women who have already had augmentation? Would you have them then take them out?
Out they go.
Can I weigh in?
Sure, go ahead.
Just for the viewers at home,
fun.
mine are real, and I'm not included in this conversation.
Thank you
Went
for
like
sharing
this.
You just wanted to tell us she has big
Okay.
boobs.
People always assume, which I'm like, they don't look.
We get it. You got some big busters. Okay, they look good, girl. We get it. We get it.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, they look real.
that's what I'm saying.
They look real.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But BBLs, there's never. a
Oh my
reason to
gosh,
get,
I can't
no reason
stand
to get
those
a BBL.
things.
Anybody here have a BBL?
Ban
No
it.
BBL?
Ban BBLs.
Right? You agree with me,
Maybe one
Amy?
day.
Amy, right? Name's Amy.
I've seen some good-looking BBLs. I'm gonna be honest. One time I used to work with a girl. She had a BBL, and I didn't know it was a BBL until I saw the mom. The mom had nothing back there, if you know what I mean. But the girl, then I looked at the girl. Then I asked one of my coworkers, and he's like, "Yeah, she got a BBL." I'm like, "Wow, that's a good BBL." Like, it really looked real, well proportional. But once I saw the mom, and I'm like, "There is no way this is your mom. You got such a big booty, and your mom has nothing." That's when I knew. I'm like, okay.
Amy,
Yeah,
you agree with me, right?
I'm banning BBL.
No, like death penalty for BBL, right?
No, the
It's
death
like-
penalty.
Death penalty for BBL?
Death penalty,
Why?
right?
I feel like everybody has their insecurities, and if it helps them feel better, then they should do it.
I don't think we need to fix our insecurities
Wait, wouldn't the
with
fix,
cosmetically.
Wouldn't the fix be to just not get the BBL and work through your mental problems?
Maybe do some hip thrusts. Go to
And
gym.
yeah, you can like with the boobs, you can't really get boobs, but like
Precisely.
butt, people have different genetics. It can be harder, easier to gain muscle, but like you can work out.
You
know,
can.
you can get a nice butt.
You can work up to your genetic potential.
I think we just gotta fix society's standards for women. Yeah.
A lot of what we look
Yeah,
up to are like for example, like you've talked about like the most beautiful woman when you've had us like rate ourselves, like, okay, Victoria's Secret model is like the 10, right? But like they all wear makeup and, do all these cosmetic things. And I think men are a big part of the reason why women wear makeup, because men are the ones who have like idolized these beauty standards for us to live up to.
Are you sure?
That's not true. I've never seen a man say, "I don't want a woman who doesn't wear no makeup." I've never seen in my entire life. I've never heard of a man say, "I only want women who wear makeup." Most men say, "I don't want women who wear too much makeup." In fact, some other guys, a big percentage of guys say, "I want a natural woman." In fact, you guys have heard this thing of where men are saying they want to start taking women out to the swimming pool on a first date so they can wash off the makeup so they see who she really looks like. Because if you guys have seen those videos on TikTok where a woman without makeup and then she has makeup and it's a night and day difference, and men are like, this is a lie. Like, this is manipulation 101. It's like they're totally two different people when she has makeup and without makeup, especially on dating apps and their photos. So she's lying. Men are not hyping up women with makeup. They are actually saying, don't get no makeup.
Sure about that?
I
Or
would
is it
disagree.
women?
Who notice other women?
Like, for example,
and enhance their
everybody
features.
here, show us your nails. Who here has fake nails on?
Not me.
Nails? Any fake nails? Nails?
Mine are real, just grown out.
Those are real?
Yeah, I just have really
Well, you put paint
nail
on it. You have nail polish. Nails. Let me give you guys a secret. Guys don't give a fuck about your nails. Don't care. You do that for yourself or
Most
for
guys
other women.
don't care.
No guy gives a. You think a guy's like, well, I wasn't gonna fuck her, but she has bullshit nails. Now I'm gonna fuck her because her nails are pink.
Well, we didn't say that was contingent on.
Also,
Screwing her, but-
hygienically, it's kind of disgusting. Sorry.
It's true, and it rips off your natural nails.
You keep the bacteria under the nails.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But do you
And then
think,
they
do you
push
think,
on your
do you think
cuticles, and your
nails- do you
cuticles are
think
supposed to keep out
fake-
bad bacteria.
Do you think nail polish and fake nails is a male-imposed beauty standard?
No, but I think especially like a lot of men who like look at these models and stuff and think they're pretty. Like all of those girls are wearing makeup.
Yeah, but men have no choice. They have no way of finding out if she really looks pretty without the makeup or without the makeup. Because if all they see is makeup, they're just gonna take what they see. You know what I mean? It's like until she washes off the makeup, then he can decide whether she's still pretty or not. So if a man likes a woman who has makeup on and he says she looks pretty, yeah, with the makeup she looks pretty. Now if she takes it off and she doesn't look pretty, then he could say something different. You know, but if most women have makeup online on Instagram, the IG bodies, most men are just gonna say they look pretty. Obviously, that's why women wear the makeup, because it makes them look good. Doesn't mean men like makeup. It just means men like things that look good.
But you'd be shocked to know that a lot of men don't even realize how much makeup women have on.
Facts.
Like that's not something that we actively monitor. When we see a woman, we're not like, oh, she got on this, she got on mascara, she got on whatever. See, I don't even know how much shit to name. But we can't tell the difference. Actually, we don't really pay attention.
You don't really know. You don't really know what she's wearing, but you don't know what she's wearing. But yet you're saying don't wear it, even though you don't even know what she's wearing.
Because we know when it come off, we like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
But see,
if most guys, in fact, most guys, okay, I'm not gonna say most guys, but I believe there's a good percentage of men who are dating women, especially if they don't live together, they've never seen a woman without makeup. So he's leaving or dating this woman, but he doesn't know what she really, really, really looks like, natural, fresh out of the shower. Because some women are really that insecure. They will do everything possible. Even when she's going to the grocery store, even when she's going to the gym, she'll put makeup on. Even when she's going to school, even when she's going out for a run, for a jog, she'll put makeup on. Some women are that insecure that they are so addicted to makeup to that extent.
see, that's the line that I was trying to draw last time. Is you can do your makeup without dramatically changing how you look. You can do it just to complement your features.
Yeah, you can do minimal makeup.
I showed you the first time I took my makeup off. I looked the same.
Did you though?
That's a lie.
Huh?
Did you though?
I did.
Did you though?
I did.
Well, look. Wait. So what's the argument?
That is our fault that they wear makeup, but it's not. It's intersectional.
I'm saying you take a part in it. You
No,
do
we
take
don't.
a part in it.
Always blaming men. Like they can't hold themselves accountable without blaming men. That's crazy to me. So even when women who wear makeup are blaming men, but at the same time they're gonna scream, "My body, my choice. I can do what I want. I'm free. I'm independent." Like ladies, you can't have it both ways. It's either you wear makeup because you're strong and independent, and it's your body, your choice, or if you decide to blame men, then blame men all the way. You can't have it both ways. But anyway, shout out to Whatever Podcast. What do you guys think about that? Link down below. All right, next we got the Peef Network. They've been going crazy, so I went back to the vault and I got a video from a couple months ago. So let's get into it.
I'll end it there because I know you want to go.
I got a question real quick. All the ladies on this panel, have any of y'all ever been proposed to?
Yeah.
Shan? You've never been proposed
I
to?
had somebody wanted to ask my dad. Like, okay, I'll take your yes.
Jasmine, how old are you?
I am 33.
And you've never been proposed to?
Nope.
Have a guy ever spoke to you about marriage and said he wanted to marry you but didn't propose?
Yep.
How many times?
Twice.
Ruth, how many times have you been proposed to or a guy talked about seriously marrying you?
Yeah, an actual one, a couple times, but they didn't.
You've been proposed to a couple times?
I don't know. He brought a ring before we went on a date. I don't think it counts. I think it's cap.
The question is, how many people have y'all been in a long-term relationship with that you wanted to end in marriage, and you were doing everything that you possibly can do to get into marriage, and he
No,
never.
Shan, that is not
the
my question. No, that is not my question. Stop. No. You don't get to change my question.
Let me tell you.
No, wait. Don't get to change my question to what they wanted from somebody, because then you're going to prove Trev's point when he said you wanted what you wanted from a guy that didn't want something from you. That does not mean there weren't guys that actually wanted her. All the women on this panel have been proposed to or spoke to, or marriage was a topic of conversation with every woman on this panel, including you.
For sure.
So
a wise man once said that most women, probably 99% of women, have met the good guy they were supposed to get married to, and they let him go because he was not good enough. Could have been Anton Daniels, could have been CGA. One of them said it, but I think I've heard both of them say it, that most women have met the guy they were supposed to get married to, whether in high school, whether in college, whether at work, somewhere in passing, but he was not good enough. He was not hood enough. He was not gangster enough. He didn't have the money. He didn't have the money to take them on 3 trips every year. He didn't have the money to take them to an expensive dinner date. The men they reject because they're not taking them to a $200, $500 dinner first date, those are the men they're supposed to marry, but they reject them.
So
but you didn't ask me why it didn't work out. Like that's so you're saying that anyone. So let me just say this. Do you have a daughter, Sweeney? So any man that wants to marry her, she should just be like, yes, I take it. You just be grateful.
No, he's talking about his their intentions. Their intentions were to get married.
Their intent. What I'm saying is to Trev's point. Just to slow this thing down real quick. So oftentimes, hold on, wait. How you go start talking and I'm in the middle of trying to explain to you?
Because she's losing the argument.
Okay, go ahead.
To Trev's point, a lot of women only focus on the person that they wanted and never recognize the times where they said no. So you think, well, because I told this man no, regardless of the reason, because there's also probably some reasons why he told you no as well. Regardless of the reason, women often ignore the person that they may have said no to, or the person that would have taken them serious, or the person and then they look at the one person that did them wrong and say, this is my experience and that's it. And it's
facts. Sweeney's cooking right now. And look at her. She can't wait to start talking. Oh my God. She's dying to talk. But he's definitely right. Women only care about the men that they want who rejected them or who did them dirty. They never think about the men they did dirty and the men they didn't want. In other words, they don't see the average guy. They don't see the 1,000 guys they keep in the friend zone. They leave their text on red. They ghost after first dates. They only think about the guy who took them on 2 dates. They liked him and he stopped calling them. And then they're like, oh my God, men these days, they ghost us. They don't want to take us out. They only come. When you hear a woman complaining about men not being good enough or not having money, they're complaining about the men they actually want. And usually we know women get approached by 100 men and only like a 3 out of 100. So they only complain about the 3 men who they wanted that didn't want them or didn't do something right. They forget about the 97 that they didn't want.
Stop stare. Just like you tried to apply to men and say, have you ever dated a woman and you ignored her and didn't want to deal with her and all of that? And I would probably make the argument that all of us on this panel have. But there was also a woman that we wanted to marry that we tried to. We've all been turned down on this panel. We've all had a woman in our life that we wanted so bad and she did not want us. She wasn't checking for us and we had to get on and get on down the road. It's the same thing that happens with y'all, but y'all focus only on the motherfucker that did not want you and not the countless of niggas that's been trying to get at you that would commit to you, that want you, and you be like, nah, I'm good. For whatever reason, you entitled for the reason why you don't want to. Some of them ain't shit, some of them are shit, some of them didn't tickle your fancy, some of them didn't move this needle the right way. Who gives a shit? But there are some people who are willing to commit to you in your life. Life is about choices and trade-offs. We as men also we understand that aspect. It's choices and trade-offs. We don't get everything we want from a woman. When we find one and we check it down and be like, all right, it is what it is with this chick right here.
So let me ask you a question, Sweeney. The only issue is men lead the household, right? So I think that your role is bigger than a female's role. Okay. So when a woman is trying to find a man in a household, there's so many things that have to be right. You can date a dude and realize this Negro. And so for me, he had ended up having mental illness. So it just had it was something I just couldn't handle.
Are you a doctor? Did you diagnose him with mental illness? Because women believe and swear for God, a man who tells them to do something is controlling and he has mental health issues. And he needs to go see a therapist just because the man told her to make him a sandwich. Now he has mental health issues.
But I'm just saying for other people, the issue is when you're looking for the CEO of your household, right? It's got to be right. Would you not agree? Do you think that every man is just able to be that guy? You understand?
He didn't say that.
It's so much more for a woman. If you're asking,
when I asked y'all a couple weeks ago, how many men were marriageable? Some of y'all said 40, some of y'all said 50, one person said 35. That's a pretty large group of motherfuckers that's marriageable, and y'all are sitting here saying now all of a sudden there's nobody out there.
What? Facts. And I said this on Friday's podcast, right? That women don't approach men. Usually 99.9% of women don't approach men. Even the smiling or saying hi, that's not approaching a man. We are talking about approaching someone, telling them they look good, you're interested in them, you want to go on a date with them. That's the approach we are talking about, you know. So most women don't do that. 99.9% of women don't do that. Men approach women. So you're telling me from the time you are 18 until you're 40, until you're 35, until you're 45, men have been approaching you your entire life, and you couldn't find one man who you could settle down with? You're telling me all the men who have approached you your entire life are not good enough? Because if I was a woman and I was getting approached for 20 straight years and I was single at 45, I would be the issue. If I'm gonna be honest, I would be the problem.
You know, like we got access to them. Like where?
Yeah, you have to have access to them, and then they gotta want you too. So it's
Let me ask you a question. Would you say I'm a marriageable person?
I don't know you like that.
just from your experience with me. Would you say Sweeney is a marriageable person?
Peace when I come home. You like you talk a little.
Would you say Darwin is a marriageable person? Marcus, JR, Trev?
I think every man is marriageable. It's got to somebody for everybody out there.
Oh shit.
So hold on, wait. No, let's let her have it. If that is the case, then why is it so hard to find somebody that's just gonna get down to the end of the road with you?
Good question.
I get it, and I get it. Hold on, wait. I get it.
I know the answer.
You got some things that a nigga just has to check off for you to want to be able to be that person.
It's the sex.
Facts. They have so many weird standards that they will have 10 things on the list, and let's say God is so good to them and they find the man who has the 10 things on the list. In year 2, they're going to come up with 2 extra things that they need him to do, whether they saw it on social media, whether they think what he's doing is not enough. Let's say she wants a man who take her out on 2 trips a year. At some point, she's going to think 2 trips is not enough. In other words, they never get enough. It's either the man doesn't meet all the requirements, and we know no one is perfect, or they're going to come up with some new requirements because it's not enough for them. So if they wanted a man who makes $70,000, they're going to look at their friend who has a man who makes $150,000, and they're going to think to themselves, you know, I know my worth. I think I deserve. They like to use the term deserve. I deserve a man who makes $200,000. It's like, what's wrong with a electrician that you've been with for some time? No, I know my worth now. I deserve more. It's crazy.
You gotta be.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Listen,
Are
let me
you
tell you.
fucking
You're not letting me explain. I'm not saying because you're a nympho. You won't let me explain. Sweeney, let me finish. If sex were not, if you, there will be women who will be in a sexless marriage and they will be okay with marrying their best friend. Okay. But because men want sex all the time, you kind of want to be attracted to the man you're having sex with, right? You kind of want to kiss them, you know? So if I got to turn my head and always do the one leg up.
Oh shit.
You should have found out he's not good with sex, or you don't like the way he kisses you the first time you tried it with him. Why wait till the marriage, put him in a sexless marriage because he's not good with sex, because he doesn't look good? So your point doesn't make sense. If you're claiming you don't want to marry or kiss a man you're not attracted to, why wait till the marriage to create a sexless marriage? So that's Sweeney's point. You're saying all the men you have met to this point, they're not good in sex, they're not good kissers, they don't look good. You're telling me from the time you turned 18 to now you're being 45, all the men you've met are not good at sex? Man, we are cooked. Anyway, man, shout out to Lapif. Link down below. All right, next up, we're going to go to Just Partly Things. Again, Grandma talks about a very good video here, trying to let women know why they're going to die alone. Let me see if I didn't review this video already. Okay, no, that's a different one. All right, let's get into it.
You've been in a relationship before.
Yeah.
Yeah? And it's affected you. I'm not saying negative or positive. I'm just saying it's affected you. It's changed the course of why you've decided, I'm just finding me, I'm doing this. So 15 years of that. I find you in 15 years' time have gone through that. All right, let's say 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really wants what you're going to come with, because you would have done it many times and you haven't figured it out. You haven't self-diagnosed yourself and found out what you need to do. So that's why I say at 35, it's different when you're young, but if you keep, and I'm not saying this to you, we're just having a conversation, but just in general, if you keep doing the same thing and getting the same outcome, by the time we meet, I'm 40, you're 35, I'll be like,
What if it's just like bad luck?
4 times. And I'm saying 4 times because I'm being respectful. I'm saying 4 times because I'm being respectful.
Yeah, can I just say that? You're saying about 35. But if you're young, wouldn't it be easier to be in a stable relationship, get married when you're young, when you haven't got all that trauma?
Yes.
You haven't got all that experience. So as far as I'm concerned, the younger you can get married, the better. Because you're saying like, oh, you got to do this, you might have to do traveling, you might have to do this, you might have to do that, you might have to do this and do that. By the time you're 35, who wants you? You've done everything. Who wants you? You got to think to yourself, you're looking at all these stars, but what have you got to offer a man at 35 when you've been through everything, you've done everything, you've got all this history behind you, you've got all this trauma? Wouldn't it be easier while you're young to get your head together and just say, right, well, I'm going to find someone same level as me. I'm going to get married. The earlier, the better. No.
That's true. And I think this happens because, as they grow up, because women get approached by all kinds of men, tall, short, fat, muscle, money, some money, little money, handsome, gangsters, drug dealers. Like, women get approached by all different types of men. So if you're telling me from 18 to around 35, she has been with rich guys, she has been broke guys, she has had all these experiences. Some men have taken her on yachts. Some men have flown her out. They've put her on private jets. Maybe she has been in a Lamborghini. And she meets a man at 35 after having all these experiences. I mean, the guy at 35, unless he's a billionaire, it's going to be very hard for him to replicate everything she has been through, because she's going to be comparing him to the millionaire she had 3 years ago. If he's short, she's going to be comparing him to the tall, handsome basketball player she dated. So it's always going to be tougher for the new guy, because she has to compare him to the old guy she used to be with. And then women like to say, I'm older now, so my standards are higher, which lets you know if she has dated a millionaire before and he was spending money on her. Me as Boogie, I mean, how can I compete with that? It's going to be a matter of time before she gets bored, because all I'm going to do is take her to IHOP. I'm going to take her to Fridays. I'm going to take her to McDonald's, and then she's going to be like, my ex used to take me to Ruth Chris. Boogie is boring. And then she's going to leave me because I can't compete.
Trauma. Both enjoy the experiences together, learn together, grow together. By the time you're 35, you've done everything, and a man's going to look at you and think, what am I doing with her when I can go and get somebody younger?
Okay, so I feel like I have a lot of problems with a lot of things you said. One thing is you kind of made the assumption that you can't get trauma from a marriage. Like you said, one positive from marrying early is that you don't have trauma yet. You can have trauma from your childhood. Like, I wouldn't say that you should just equate being young with not necessarily having any problems, having experienced life. And another thing I would say is, again, I feel like marriage is a huge commitment that shouldn't be undermined. Like, once you've married someone, you're committed to them. Like, what they want, if they wake up tomorrow and they decide they want to move across the world, that impacts you. And those kind of things, those tendencies are more likely to happen when you're young and you're still trying to figure out life. So I would disagree with, you should aim to marry early.
So I have a question. What do you think is more traumatizing? One partner, or what would you say the average body count?
Well, I was being generous.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But by
Okay.
15 years.
So let's say like by 35, right? How many partners would that girl have had over the years? Like what's more traumatizing? One or
Okay, so this is another problem. You can't equate someone's quality and who they are to their body count. Like,
yes, you can, because it shows the type of people they like to interact with. If all my life I've been dating strippers, right? If that's all I've been doing, every woman has a right to ask me why in my past I was just choosing strippers as my girlfriends. That's a valid reason.
So this is a common misconception that a lot of girls have, and the reason you can is because if a girl's a virgin on her wedding night, she has an 80% chance of a happy marriage. If she sleeps with 5 or more guys, it goes down to 25%. And the women that sleep with more men, they have higher rates of depression.
Okay, so again, I feel like it depends on the person again, because with what you just said, I feel like you're seeing the quality of a marriage as being like primarily linked to how the sexual life is, and I think there's so much more to marriage than just that.
Yeah, but it starts out as a sexual relationship, especially if it's not an arranged marriage. You know, if it's not like in the Indian culture or in some cultures where it's arranged marriage, the parents of the girl and the parents of the dad of the boy come together, and then it's arranged marriage, and then the sexual attraction grows later. That's different. But in the world we live in, where people make their own choices, it starts as a sexual relationship. And if they find out they're compatible with each other, then the marriage, comes along. But at the end of the day, if Boogie has been dealing with strippers, giving him the gog 3,000, 6,000, whatever you want to call it, if all strippers have been giving me all kind of experiences, threesomes and things like that, and then I meet a woman who doesn't do those things, I'm going to compare her to my exes who are strippers. So the same thing for women. And for me, I believe for women, it's not even just about just the sex. It's the fact that the type of men she has been dealing with, what kind of experiences did they give her? So if the exes were taking her out to expensive restaurants, flying her out to Dubai, giving her 6 trips a year, and Boogie is just going to take her to the beach once a year, clearly she's going to compare me to her exes and she's not going to want me. And if she dares to get married to me, she's always going to compare me to her exes. And chances are, at some point, she's going to be like, you know what, Boogie? You're a good guy. You're a nice guy, but you don't have the money to take care of me. So I'm going to go look somewhere else. And the marriage is going to be ending at that point.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Because we're talking about marriage, we're not talking about a relationship. Like, I would say the difference between marriage and a relationship is your life is literally like intertwined with that person's life in a marriage. Whereas in a relationship, it's not necessarily to that extent. Like, I wouldn't say a relationship, you can't put a relationship and marriage on the same scale because the commitment is completely different in both. So I feel like with what you're saying and what we're discussing, we have to be careful that we're not confusing marriage with relationship, because I think they're so very different.
No, I'm not confusing marriage with relationships. I'm talking about sexual partners. So that doesn't even necessarily mean she got them in a relationship.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is the more men that a woman sleeps with, she has a lower and lower chance of getting a happy marriage, and there's higher and higher rates of depression that are linked to that. So what I'm saying is by the time a woman is 35, I don't know how many partners she's probably had, but I would guess it's more than 5. So she's going to go through relationship after relationship after relationship, maybe casual, maybe serious, of it not working out.
I don't know. I feel like, again, we shouldn't make assumptions, because you could be 35 and your body count's less than 5. So what would you say is the case then?
I would.
That's not the point. The point is both men and women have experiences with different people. And the more experiences you have with different people, good or bad, which we usually know it's going to be bad, because if they're good experiences, you still be in a relationship with those people, even married to them. But if you're single, 35 or 45, clearly the relationships you are in didn't work out. So you're carrying baggage. Now your new person, you're going to be comparing them to all your exes. Men do it, women do it. And just partly things is just saying that reduces the chances of you having a successful marriage, because it's going to be comparison all the time. She's comparing you to the guys who are taller than you, who are bigger dicks than you, and you are comparing her to all the other women who used to listen to you. Let's say she's not a submissive woman. You're going to be comparing her to Jessica, who used to listen to you, who used to cook for you, but maybe she doesn't cook. So that's the issue.
I'd say that's an exception. It's not the rule, based on data. So they survey women about what their body counts are. And you don't know if they're telling the truth or not, but like self-reported data, that tends to be higher the older they get. So like you can look at like virginity numbers, and like the older they get, the less women are virgins, and you can assume, like you can infer from that they continue to have sex.
Can I just say something? When she's saying about relationships and marriage, I think that's the problem. Because the same way how you're supposed to be in committed relationships that lead to marriage. And I think sometimes you only learn that with age, because so many people are having relationships that they feel, well, I don't have to commit to them because I'm not going to marry that person anyway. If you're not going to marry the person, why are you in a relationship with them? What is your end goal? So if your end goal is not marriage, why are you in that relationship? And the same way how you think that, oh yeah, you can only be committed to each other when you're in marriage. Well, that is what a perfect relationship with. That's what makes a relationship last long, is when you're committed, as if you are married. That's what leads to marriage. So if you're in a relationship and you think, oh, it's just a relationship, I'm not going to be committed because we're not married. To me, that's a failure. That's when you're going to end up hitting 35 and just being leftovers.
Yeah, but I think the issue is many of us in this generation, and I'm talking about from probably the 1980s all the way, we have not come from two parents households. We are dating like as if it's a game, honestly. Reason being, we didn't see it in the house. Most of us grew up with single moms, or maybe at some point the parents got divorced, so that's all we know. And then we see our mom dating different people, we see our dad dating different women. So that's all we know. Like, they didn't teach us about, the importance of commitment to each other. All they taught us, oh, I saw mom when mom didn't like what dad was doing, she was yelling at him, and then she left him, and then mom started dating John, and then when John was doing something she didn't like, She yelled at him, then she broke up with John, then she got Tim, and then she got Dan, and then so Mama was doing okay. I mean, I can do what Mom used to do. I don't have to commit to one man. And then you see your dad was dating Jessica, and then in 2 months you saw Dad dating another woman and dating another woman. So that's all we know. It's like parents didn't teach us the importance of commitment because they were never committed to each other. So yes, I agree with what she's saying, but like, who's teaching kids the importance of commitment, the importance of marriage, the importance of relationships, and taking them seriously? Who's teaching kids how to choose partners?
I feel like you misunderstood me because I completely agree with you on that point in terms of I don't think that you should be in a relationship if you don't. Like, I don't see the point of dating if it's not leading to marriage, but being realistic with the generation I'm in, not a lot of people are dating, not a lot of people like at 21, and not a lot of people are thinking about marriage, even if they are in relationships. They're not seen, and it differs. Sometimes it's the woman that tends to be seen it equating a committed relationship to lead into marriage, but with men, that's not necessarily always the case. So yeah, I do agree with you on that point. However, there is a difference between a relationship and marriage.
Have you ever heard of the Pareto principle when it comes to dating? So if you ask 100% of women what they want in a guy, they list 20% of men. And sometimes it's less, sometimes it's 15, sometimes it's 10%, sometimes it's 5%. So the reason women will say things like men are trash is because we've all been dating the same guys. And so a common misconception is a lot of these guys aren't looking to settle down, and those guys aren't because they get their choice. Why would they settle down when they get their choice of a bunch of women on birth control? But if you date older and you don't go for the top 20% of guys, a lot of guys are looking for something serious.
But something serious doesn't necessarily mean marriage.
Yeah, but that's you see what she just said? Something serious doesn't mean marriage. But that was supposed to be the end goal. That's because she was not taught that marriage is supposed to be the end goal. Family is supposed to be the end goal. Two-parent household is supposed to be the end goal. Because she didn't see it growing up in the house. She didn't see mom and dad staying committed to each other. Mom and dad didn't tell her that if you're in a relationship, marriage should be the end goal. All she knows is from social media, seeing her favorite celebrities, female celebrities, moving from guy to guy to guy to guy. Taylor Swift, moving from one man to another man and making songs about it. So in other words, I mean, this generation is cooked when it comes to marriage and relationships. But what do you guys think about that? Shout out to Just Partly Things. Link down below to finish the video. All right, next we got this podcast called Road Mall. I'll put the link down below. But this woman, single mom, was talking about why men should pay for our dates and our kids. So let's go.
Then it's harder to leave. I want to leave now when it's easier.
Right.
You know?
And who pays for the bill on the first date?
A man.
A man.
A man. A man is a provider and a protector. As simple as that. If I have to pay for a date, I'm not going on that date. I used to always pay for dates. Not anymore.
What about if you asked me?
On a date?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's not about equality. It's about a man. Look, the thing is, the role of a man and the role of a woman, spiritually, physically, is different. You guys built our roads.
Yeah.
You guys can carry more weights than we do.
Yeah.
You guys can swim faster than we do. I don't argue with that. It's like you're telling me, okay, what if...
But so you're saying a man was built to pay the first date every time?
A man was built to provide. Provide means put the necessaries for a family, for a woman, provider. It doesn't mean a mansion on the beach, Rolls Royce, Rolex watches. No, that if he wants to do that, it's up to him. Okay. Provide means safety, food, shelter, and all that for a family. Because a woman...
Aren't there a lot of women, though, looking to abuse that?
I
just want to find someone who can finance everything for me and I'll just take it, thanks. And what are you giving in return?
Good question. I was waiting for him to ask that question. Because you guys notice when a woman, most women know what a man should do, but they can't list what a woman should do for a man. They can list 1,000 things men should do for women. Provide, protect, and they speak with so much strength, passion, A man was born to provide and protect. But they never say anything a woman should do for a man. They just simply say, we are queens. We're the prize. We're the table. Interesting.
So there are a lot of toxic women like that who are looking for just like a bait, a man who to pay for their life.
Yeah.
You know, and
So surely a great bullshit filter. So you've done the qualifier. You date qualify. What about just sitting there and waiting on the reaction? Because surely a good qualifier for a gold digger is to see how she responds to when the bill comes out. If she's got no willingness to even talk about who's paying.
so you're telling me, what if a man is testing me to see if I'm a gold digger?
Yeah.
I mean, you're just, I know it's not you and I.
Yeah.
But you're putting me through the test.
I'm not testing you. I'm having an honest conversation. It's not a test.
Okay, so then in that case, we need to have an honest conversation about the bill. Would you expect me to pay the bill every single time we went out?
But if we are in a relationship, I would pay to fix your car. If you're down, I'll lift you up. If you're my partner, yes, I would do whatever it takes for my partner.
Yeah. So why not wait for the man to be your partner to pay for the dates? Because on the first date, we're not partners. You don't know me. I don't know. We're just going out to get to know each other. So why am I paying if you're not my partner? You feel me? It's like she's saying she will help the man once they're in a relationship. She will motivate him, help him when he's down, when they're in a relationship. So why isn't the man given the same, credit that, hey, listen, I don't expect a man to pay for the first date or for dates until we're in a relationship. Double standard, I see.
Bro, I just met you. And
he just met you too. He just met you as well.
But it's a date, no? It's a date, and this is.
So you're saying the rules of engagement of the date is that the man pays for the date?
Of course,
So you say, of course, fine. And then the second date?
He pays.
And then the third date?
I would pay. Because there wouldn't be a third date unless he's fucking awesome.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind paying. A third date, you will see me pull out my card.
Yeah.
Fourth date, you see me pull out. Try. I will always try. And I will also sneak to pay sometimes. Because I believe in this. If my man gets me a ring, I get him a suit. If my man gives me something, I give him something. I love love, and I love
so many people that aren't like that, though, isn't there, in this
But
world?
let me teach you how to filter that shit.
Okay.
Rob, it's easy. Have you ever entered a room and sat with a gold digger and did not know she's a gold digger?
No, I suppose it's pretty obvious.
Pretty obvious, right?
Yeah.
And trust me, they can come dressed in suits, they can come covered up, they can come not covered up, they can come dressed in anything.
But then
energy doesn't lie.
So then if you've got that energy of someone who's a gold digger, the most fun thing in the world is to just sit there when the bill comes out and just watch them sweat.
Yeah, but
that'd be hilarious.
It would be fun. I would love to see something like that
but
on TV, not in real life. I'll tell you why.
Yeah, in real life, she doesn't want to pay for the date. Let's be honest. She's talking about how other women are gold diggers and how to spot gold diggers. But the best test, is what he said. Once the bill comes and a woman is not willing to pay for the date, or even fakes. Honestly, I don't even like it when they fake, because women fake paying for the date, for the bill, so that the man can stop them. Women have literally said this. They go on dates. Once the check comes, when the bill comes, they will pretend to pull out their card so the guy can say no. And women have said men who don't stop them from paying the date, they never want to see them again. So in other words, men should just invest from the beginning. And once Her Majesty decides this is the guy for me, then she will try to pay for an ice cream here and there. And this is why men are not doing dates. This is why men are not dating anymore. Because it's like, okay, I'm going to invest. And then once you make up your mind, out of the 10 guys you're going on dates with, then you choose me, you'll do me a favor. Men are like, this is not a good deal. Besides, another thing is, men are like, okay, so I'm going to pay for all these dates, right? But then you're also going to tell me what type of date to take you on to determine if I'm worthy. Because doing drinks and the coffee and ice cream, women don't all walk in the park. Women think and say that that guy is broke. He's not a provider if he doesn't suggest an expensive dinner date.
Right.
Because karma is a bitch.
But that's not unkind. And I'm not saying I'm not going to pay. I'm just going to watch what happens.
Yeah. But you know why it's unkind? The whole shebang you did is funny. The intention is unkind. That's
How
where the
is
karma
it?
happens. Karma doesn't happen based on action, your intentions.
Yeah, but their
He's
intentions
protecting
are
himself.
unkind.
Exactly.
Yeah, but why did you have to do that? Just fucking leave.
How is this
So
going
just
to
pay and
know?
leave.
Why did you have to fill the table with food and make her pay? What if she can't afford
I'm
it?
not going to make anyone pay. Don't misunderstand me.
Then what, you're testing?
Yeah.
Well, you just said, I'm getting the energy of a gold digger and I don't want a gold digger. What am I going? So you're saying I should say, look, the energy's off here. I just
No.
don't think we're going to work. I'm
No,
going to take
you
the bill.
You missed the twist, the plot of
Remember,
the
I
story.
haven't dated since 9/11.
No,
So
no.
this is like
So you
everyone
said-
watching. You should just see this as like me learning, and clearly I'm a good beginner student.
No, so you said if I was out with a gold digger, it'd be fun to watch the bill come in the end. So
Oh,
you
oh,
already,
yeah, like
so
that.
you already knew she was a gold digger. Why'd you stay?
No, he didn't know. Why is she acting like as if all men know that women are gold diggers? Most women cover it up. In fact, the best gold diggers are the ones who may even pay for the first date, get married, then go to divorce court and take half his shit. Those are the best ones because you didn't see it coming. They can go through with everything, be the nice, kind souls you've ever met, pay for all the dinner dates you've been to, only because they want to get married, divorce you, and then you start paying them alimony. Those are the best ones. So why is she acting like as if men just know that every woman is a gold digger from the beginning? Some of them hide it so good, to the extent that some men have really good intentions. Like she said, men were born to provide and protect. So most guys are just gonna do it and won't even think about, oh, is she a gold digger? He's just gonna provide and protect because he has been told his own entire life by women like her that real men provide and protect and pay for the first date.
Respect yourself enough to get up.
But like, you might answer a question wrong on this show that I don't want. I'm not going to get up and leave. It's fun. You know,
No,
it's
but
fun
this
to
is
have
the-
a bit, there's,
no,
you
but
know, a bit
this
of
is the
awkwardness and weirdness and, you know, interaction and see how people are.
You can have a narcissist sit in this show. You're not having a relationship with them. You're not eating with them. You're not friends with them. It's just a transactional show. I leave, then I'm gone. Right? It's an episode.
Yeah, it's easy for you as a woman to talk about, oh, I'll just get up from the date and leave because you get approached. You get asked out on dates. Until you start asking men out on dates, then, only then can you talk about, oh, I'll just get up and leave. Because I'm telling you guys, if two people go on a date, a man and a woman, and they both refuse to pay, and if a woman gets up and leaves, or a man gets up and leaves, guess who the police is gonna get once the police is called to the restaurant? It's gonna be the man that's gonna be taken to jail, because she will just say, he said he's gonna take me on a date. I was expecting him to pay. So the man is gonna go to jail. So men are not just gonna get up and leave without paying the bill. Women can do that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It is different.
See,
Okay. So you teach me then. What? Teach me.
I swear to God, I cannot emphasize on this. If you want to pick up, see, the thing is, think of us as computers, right? We have codes, right? Our codes are in our frequency and it's surrounding us in a radius, right? Whatever you think, you feel inside, you don't have to speak it. You don't have to act it. It's coded in your energy. That's why when you walk in a room, somebody's smiling, but you're like, oh my God, babe, are you okay? I feel like you're not okay. And she's smiling. It's because energy doesn't lie. Her body language can lie. Her dressing can lie. His dressing can lie. Energy doesn't lie. When someone's feeling down, you know it, even if they don't say it. Because energy, guys, tune into your freaking energy.
Energy, vibes. She's about to start talking about zodiac signs. That's all bullshit. Things, oh my God. I'm frustrated right now. Anyway, man, link down below to this podcast. So, guys, apparently you are born to provide and protect for women you don't even know. Good luck. All right, next up, we're going to go to Anton Daniels, man. You guys like when I do these reactions to his show, so I was like, I'll just give you another one since you guys like it so much. So let's get into it.
It does not. It doesn't sound
I mean, it's
crazy.
both ways.
All right, so wait. Let me ask y'all a question. And please don't give me the standard answer that you want us to know. Honestly, for the ladies, would you rather be with the regular guy that is faithful to you, or would you rather be with the exceptional guy that occasionally dabbles and as long as he don't bring
Exceptional.
they're
What the
gonna
hell
lie.
makes him exceptional if he's
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We have one woman that first so far that is willing to actually be honest. You said you rather be with the
I'm gonna
exception.
keep it 100 all the time. And I don't know, maybe they haven't lived long enough or done a lot of things, but I've lived a life. I know I've dated all kind of guys before I got married. I've dated white, black, some with a lot of money, some that was broke as hell.
Be quiet,
All
be quiet. I
types of
don't want
guys.
your husband to hear you now. Be quiet.
Hold on.
I
Let
don't
her
have a
go.
husband,
Let her cook.
boy. So, yeah, I have dated all. I dated a lot of types, and I'm not gonna act like some of them men. I probably should have been like, oh my God, what did I do? But I was still rocking with this guy, and that's just what it was. To me, depending on, like I said, depends on the guy. An exceptional guy ain't necessarily that guy that's just got all the money in the world, or these things. To me, an exceptional guy is just a total package, and that package is unexplainable. It's just what it is. And there's not a lot of them out there that can pull that off. And that's what I'm saying. So, yes, it can be pulled off, but no. But at this point in my life, when you're thinking back about it and just everything, decisions that was made, mistakes, yeah, I will go with the exception. At the occasion, I wouldn't do a serial cheat. I don't think I can handle that because I'm territorial. It's my emotion. So I know how I am. I'm a bit territorial. So I don't like deception because I'm super loyal. So deception is like my biggest thing. Like, man, guys, you just kind of know it ain't really got to be discussed, and it's just what it is. And as long as that shit don't cross my path, then I'm good. I shouldn't know about it. I know, but I don't know if that makes sense. Now, I know a lot of women gonna act like that's not a thing, but it is. I'm not here for that. I'm here for healing.
I like that. I like that. Is there anybody else that would like to be honest?
Yeah, shout out to this lady for being honest. Most women are going to lie, but we secretly know there's so many average good men who don't cheat, but women don't like them because they're not exceptional. And we know that exceptional is either money, status, usually money, if we're going to be honest. So they will leave the average guy who's never going to cheat, and they will take the exceptional guy who's going to put them in the Range Rover. Let's just be fucking honest. So shout out to her for being honest.
I had muted y'all just to make sure that we could hear hear what Nikki was saying. Is there anybody else that would like to be honest? Nobody else want to be honest? No worries.
Question.
Would you rather be with a normal, regular guy that is faithful to you, but he pretty basic and he's never gonna be anything more than whatever it is that you get at him at that time? Or would you rather be with the exceptional guy that occasionally step out, but he's not gonna bring you nothing back? Come on, y'all. Let's be honest. Let's just have a real conversation.
This is my take on it. I don't want no occasional cheater. No.
I'm sorry. Wait. Before you answer that question, you got to pick one and then add the context.
Okay, wait. Before I pick, let me explain. So here's my take on it.
Let me bring my baby girl back. Give me a second. There she is.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So,
put her right under.
Two things. The first thing is I like a man with integrity, honest man. So
I'm sorry, you did not pick one.
If the man is going to have,
would you like to
would you like to read occasional thing?
Would you like to think
on your feet
No. Would you like to think about this a little bit longer? Would you like to think about this a little bit longer? Because you're not playing the game right. You got to pick one. You have to pick one and then add the context.
And okay, so if I've got to pick between the two of those, I'm going to pick the mediocre guy, faithful.
Okay, and I'll add the context.
She's lying.
Okay, and
she's lying. Like I said, on the public platform, in public, most women are going to say, "Give me the average guy who doesn't cheat." That's what they're going to say. Because they know saying give me the guy who has money but he's a cheater makes them sound like a gold digger. But if it was the case that they would rather have an average guy who doesn't cheat, there's so many average guys who would die to be with a woman. They bring flowers on the first date. They text and call good mornings and good night texts. They don't want them.
the reason, well, I already added it. The issue for me is that if a man is honest and there is a certain standard lifestyle vision that the man has for his life, and that two women serve for that vision, then I'm gonna see where I can fit in, and if it works for me, it works for me. But the man who is with me and occasionally steps out here or there with
I'm sorry,
this
can you
woman,
say
that
say
woman,
that
that doesn't work for me.
give me the mediocre reason again, one more time? I'm sorry.
I would take the meat because the man is going to be with me. We can grow to whatever our potential is to be.
No, ain't no more potential. He just mediocre. That's the thing.
I'm gonna take that man. I'm not taking the man that doesn't value his seed and is just throwing it.
No. See, you keep trying to change the rules. You're not gonna make no man nothing. That's just the facts. Either he is or he not. Ain't no more potential. What you see is that or lower. That's it.
But when you first met your wife, were you where you are now today?
Yeah, but I was always exceptional.
You were not.
Yes, I was. I've been an exceptional nigga my whole life.
No, you were not.
Now, yes, it just
you lived in your mama's house. You done told us plenty of
Right.
stories.
Not exceptional. Let's be very.
He had no job. He was taking her check.
You missing it, baby.
She was giving him her check. He didn't have a job.
Let me explain it to you. Let me explain it.
This is the first time in a long time I've seen a woman come for Anton. It's gonna be good. Let's go.
This is my story. You can't tell my story. So let me give you the context. Before the 2008 crisis that affected everybody, I was driving a Bentley. I was driving a Bentley in my early 20s. Cash. Give me a second. Then the 2008 crisis happened, and I went broke. But that's the thing about great men, is that you don't stay rich the whole time. Everybody goes through things, right? You're gonna have ups and downs, but what makes me exceptional is that I can take a hit and still get that shit back and triple it and quadruple it. Hold on, somebody got a lot of feedback in the background. I'm sorry. Oh, that was Jessica. But it's not about whether you go up and down. It's about how you can bounce back and if you can recover, right? You're going to go through ups. You're going to go through downs. That's just life. Life don't make you an unexceptional person. That's why I'm able to maintain it and continue to grow it. I was exceptional in high school. I was exceptional in middle school. I was always that nigga, and I was always going to be him. Like, it just is what it is. Some people is just destined to be great, and you just know it when you see it. Even when I had 10,000 subscribers, everybody knew that I was going to grow, and I'm going to get 2 or 3 million eventually.
I mean, shout out to Anton Daniels. I'm not, obviously, I just found him on YouTube as well. I don't know exactly about his whole life story about with his wife, him going broke. He has talked about it, but no one was there to really know. But at least one thing he said, that a man who's going to be great is always going to be great. Where they fall down at 10 times, they'll always be able to get back up. So that's motivation for all you guys who are watching me, for all men. Obviously, she tried to come for him, but that was a good comeback.
I am going to be that guy. It's no doubt about it. You know it. I know it. It's not even a question. The only question is, how long is it going to take me to get there? You know it. It's people that you see every day. You like, you know what? He got it. It just is what it is. It don't matter if he broke. It don't matter if he ain't got it yet. You know it. That's why white women make sure that they attach themselves to certain guys when they're in college, because they know he probably going to be it. Fact. He ain't got to already be there. He ain't already got to have money. He ain't already got to be rich, but you know he going to get there, whether it's a corporate America, finance bro, or whatever.
And you know, stop trying to preach to her, man. Let the streets pay her tab, bro. Like,
well, I mean, because I have to add the context. Y'all think because y'all there when we broke, that makes y'all qualified to be there with us when we rich. It doesn't. You may just be there for a season. You may be a bottom bitch. And then we might have to trade you in if you don't qualify to be in the rooms with us when we elevate. Now, it just so happens to be that I was able to select people around me, including the chick that I'm with, that is exceptional also, that is qualified to be in certain rooms with us when I go to a certain place. But let's be very clear. The reason why she stuck with me is because I picked the one that was real and that was exceptional to go through it with me, so that she qualifies to benefit from it when I became great again.
I mean, that's true. Let's be honest, guys. I'm gonna ask you guys a question, right? For all the talk about black men wanting white women or being with white women, especially athletes in high school, and some athletes have said black women didn't give them the time of day, or even just normal guys who are not athletes talking about black women didn't give them the time of day in high school, right? Or in college, because they didn't have nothing. Because black women want a finished product of a black man. Even Dr. Umar Johnson talked about that. The fact that black women don't want to build with black men when they're starting up. They want them to be finished because they want you to pay for the expensive dinner dates, take them to Cancun, to Mexico, fly them to Dubai, and all these things, right? If black women did build with the average dude when let's say he's starting out in college, 21, 22, 23, if they decided to build with black men, what would be the marriage rate right now? If we're going to be honest, would the marriage rate be as low as it is now, or would it be higher if most black women were not waiting for men to be rich in order to give them a chance?
I blessed her, not the other way around.
She saw your potential, and you grew. That's what I got from all of that.
You don't see my potential if I was already getting to that shit when she came back into my life.
No,
let's be clear. I bought her a car before I even married her.
No, here's the thing, right?
I was driving a Bentley. You don't get.
That's all well and good. You were until you were not. I heard what you said. I heard everything you said. You were until you were not, and then when you were not,
I always were. It just I had to figure it out again. I always were.
You had to trust that
when you're an exceptional person. When you're an exceptional person, you don't become unexceptional just because you're going through some shit.
If you're going through something, somebody has to trust that you're gonna be able to get out of it.
No, you don't. You can leave. I ain't never.
Okay, yeah, a person has to.
I never locked the door.
They can leave, but if they don't leave,
my one rule has always been: I'm never gonna try to keep somebody that ain't trying to be kept.
Understood. But the fact that she did stay is a testament to what she saw in you.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing for her, not a testament.
Lord.
She got 20/20 eye vision. Thank God.
Why you'll never put her on the panel?
Who? My wife?
Why don't because
other black women will attack her. Other black women like you like to attack married black women, because you think their husbands hate black women. Single black women don't like married black women. Let's just say it. Let's just be honest. Because they believe marriage is slavery. Single black women don't like married black women who submit to their husbands. Single black women don't like married black women who believe in marriage. Especially if they got kids, it's even worse. So the reason Anton Daniels doesn't put his wife, in my opinion, on the panel, because black women like this one will try to attack her and call her all sorts of names, or try to make her single, try to make her divorce Anton Daniels, because we know single women keep other women single.
Do you know why Mercedes is so quiet until I ask her a question?
I could guess.
Because she understands. I mean, I don't want to ruin y'all from talking, but why do you need to talk to her? If you want to talk to her, then book a coaching call. Her time costs money.
Well, no, thank you.
I can make you into the wife you're supposed to be.
Hey, Tom, let me put it back. Come on,
shots fired.
Let's be clear. No. I want y'all to understand something. Let's be very, very clear. And you'll see her at the meetup if you come. And anybody that has ever met her at a show, at a meetup, at an event, the whole 9 yards, she got an aura. She got a whole nother wave. It's a whole nother level being around her. You can't just bring her around regular people. That's not how that works. And this is the honest to God truth.
I'm not mad at that.
When she come on or when she pass by, they call her queen. She has an aura
Because
about
she's
her.
married.
It's a whole nother
It's
thing.
very angelic.
Honest to God, you
So
met
why
her,
do you
Jerry.
always say that you are the prize?
Because he is. How many Anton Daniels are out here? And some of you guys are gonna say, "Oh, Boogie, you're glazing Anton Daniels." Okay, let's forget him for a second. How many exceptional men are out here? How many beautiful women are out here? So clearly, the men are the prize, because all the women want the exceptional guys, but most men are not exceptional. Let's just call it what it is.
Because I'm the one that gave her the fucking aura. Are you not listening?
I explained that to you already.
That is a very real thing.
She doesn't like it because she's single. I told you.
And that's she in the back room. She's shutting the fuck up, and she waiting until I get done so I can get back there.
How you think you don't hear my wife, Dave?
And then if we just talking about just even we talking about other people's relationships, women, they're not gonna, especially if you got things that you built, you got a family, you got a home, you have a lot of things that's put into this for you to just turn all down. That you still got to think about the kids. That's one of our biggest issues right now. Some things are more important than your feelings, and that's just what it is. And we have to learn that some things right now for me is way more important than our emotions, any of that. Yes. You want anybody just cheating on you, but certain, like I said, certain people, they do put it off to answer that one question, which answer your question as far as women just, I'm not saying. We say that stuff a lot until you in the picture. Till you've been with somebody 10, 15 years, whatever's going on. Because then at that point, if he's doing that, you probably need to do some.
So I want to say something. Let me say, hold on a second.
Okay.
Excuse me, if you don't mind.
Oh, she's sipping.
Let me hold on 1 second.
Oh, she's sipping.
Oh. No. Okay. So me personally, I really, and this is just recent, I've come to the conclusion that most, I won't say all, even though I do believe all, but I'll say most for the conversation, men will step out. There's no way around it. It's some of the greatest men, some of the most successful.
Martin Luther King.
It's not just the low down, dirty men, the broke men, or no, it's some really good men who step out. So I've come to that conclusion that used to be for me a deal breaker. I am not saying that I would ever give anybody a pass like, oh, here you go. But at the same time, my biggest thing is it's not a deal breaker anymore, basically. My biggest thing though is honesty, being real. If I can trust your word, and I can just trust you, that's biggest to me over everything. In my past has been the sneakiness, all of that. That's the part that I think we have the most problem with, is the conniving, the betrayal. Oh, then once you find out about one incident, you really start thinking about, oh, you said you were here. Like, it really does affect the woman. It really does affect us.
Dave, I need you.
And once that's broken, I really don't trust much that you say after that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think with everything, it's how they say life is about choices and trade-offs. It's either, ladies, you're gonna have an average guy, who's gonna be everything that you want, worship the ground that you walk on, works just 40 hours and comes back home to you whenever you want him. He will pick you up, whatever you say goes. Or you're gonna be with an exceptional guy that is wanted by other women. Your average guy, few or zero women are gonna want him. The exceptional guys, other women are gonna want those guys. So it's up to you to make a choice. Do you want to risk being with I'm not saying average guys don't cheat, but very few can pull that off. He's gotta be tall and average. He's gotta be handsome and average. He's gotta have the aura. He's gotta have something to be average and be able to pull so many women. But a bad-looking guy and he has money is gonna pull more than a good-looking tall guy who doesn't have money. It is what it is. But what do you guys think about that? Shout out to Anton Daniels, link down below. All right, next up we got this TikTok of this lady talking about the types of women men should break up with if they do all these things. So let's get into it.
Fellas, listen up. If your girl has done any of these things, you're like in a serious relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, committed. She has done any of these things, it's a red flag, and you need to break up with her expeditiously, immediately. Tune in. If your girl has gone on girls' trips while you've been in a relationship, break up with her. 9 times out of 10, she's going with her friends who are single. And her friends who are single are looking for attention from men. They're not going on these girls' trips for spa days, getting their nails done, shopping. That might be part of the girls' trip, but that ain't the only thing she's doing.
But the thing is, when men say exactly what she's saying, men get called toxic. Men are told you hate women. And we're going to go through the comments. You're going to see some women don't like what she's saying. But it's because it's a woman saying it. They're not attacking it as much as they would attack men. Because men have been saying this all the time. Because if a woman is in a relationship or married, but she has 3-4 single girlfriends and she's going on trips with them, they are single and they're ready to mingle. She's not going to be the only one watching. And chances are she may run into a good-looking guy, maybe a guy who has more money than the boyfriend or the husband. And we are all human. Temptations come to all of us. So at some point, something could happen. She may meet a Jeff Bezos on our trip. So who knows? If Jeff Bezos meets my girl, it's a wrap. It's a done deal. You feel me? So that's why some guys don't like when their women go on girls trips. But if men speak up on it, they get attacked.
Her toxic friends are in her head saying, oh, you don't need her. You don't need that man. Come be outside with us. The outside single life is where it's at. They're getting in her head. Break up with her because she going to end up breaking up with you. Number 2, she constantly gaslights you or she's very combative. Every little thing that you say, she has a response. And it's not like a sweet response. It's a very defensive response. You say, hey, babe, can you just clean your hair out of the shower? It's stuck in the drain. Her response is, well, I would if you would take out the trash every Friday. It's very combative. Feminine women are not combative. We live a soft era. We don't do all that extra shit. If she's being extra and just has the attitude for no reason, she's too comfortable. She needs a reality check. Break up with her.
I mean, and that's why most guys in relationships, if he tries it one time, his woman does something he doesn't like, if he brings up the point, hey baby, you did ABCD, I didn't like what you did, and she argues with him, because they have a way of twisting things. I'm like, hey baby, I don't like how you slammed the door. I don't like how you didn't listen to me when I was talking to you. I don't like how you raised your voice. Oh, but you also yell at me. You yelled at me last year. You yelled at me 2 months ago. But it's like, baby, can we just handle this situation right now? And then we can talk about whatever you think I did wrong 2 months ago. Like, why did you wait 2 months ago to bring this back up? You should have addressed that then. So they have a way of spinning things when a man says that he doesn't like something to act like the victim, to act like the reason I treated you so bad is because you treated me so bad 2 weeks ago. So what most men do, they're like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to let you talk. So most men are in relationships they don't want to be in. Number one, because they don't want to argue. Maybe they have kids. They don't want to lose their kids. Maybe they're married. They don't want to lose their house because if there's a divorce, the man gets kicked out of the house. Or maybe they don't want to, they can't move on. They don't have the options. Most guys, have like the scarcity mindset where they fear to lose the woman because they believe they won't find another one. So most guys stay in such relationships. She's right.
Number 3, if she has any male friends, I don't care if she knew them since preschool, middle school, high school, any male friends, break up with her. Break up with her because she's using her male friends as a backup. I don't give a crap. Those are her backup plans in case you fuck up. Don't be stupid.
But for me, honestly, I'm gonna say it may be even worse if she has single female friends. Because when you guys have issues in a relationship, she runs to her single friends. Oh, my boyfriend did ABCD, or my boyfriend did ABCD. The single friends are already jealous because she has a man, number one. Number two, the single friends, you know, the whole thing, single friends keep all other women single. They are never going to say something to hold her accountable. Even if they don't know you, they don't know the backstory, they don't know your story, whatever she tells them, the single friends will tell her, you are right, break up with him. So they're going to sabotage the relationship. Now, you are on your own. You know, you think it's just you and her, but it's you versus her and her 3 single friends when you guys got issues. So for me, I actually believe it's even worse. A woman having male friends is better than a woman having single female friends, because they are going to be telling her to break up with you every chance so she can become as single as them. But what do you guys think about that? The reasons men should break up with a woman. Obviously, if you go through the comments, you're going to see some women don't agree. Obviously, they don't agree because a woman is giving game to men. But so this first comment, the guy says, this is why every guy must read The Girlfriend's blah blah. Oh, it's a book. The Girlfriend Game by Silas Rand. Just stay single, it's peaceful. I agree. Girl strip is crazy. Shut the fuck up. This is a woman. Obviously, she doesn't like what she said. Married woman, girl strips do the same thing. That's facts. Okay, men are agreeing with her. Let's see. I need a break. 9 out of 10 times she wants to go see the other dude. Yeah, the male friends. This guy says, my girl just went to Miami with her dude friends. Am I cooked? And then this lady is like, she's in the comments. She says, you're cooked. So cooked. He's cooked. Because Miami is crazy. Anyway, shout out to this lady. Link down below. Let's go to another TikTok here. Women are crying and begging for good men. You know, they didn't want the good men in high school. They didn't want the good men in college. They didn't want the good men 10 years ago before they had kids. Now that they have 2-3 kids by 2 different men, they want the good men, and they want all men, black, red, yellow, white. So without further ado, let's go.
Hey everybody. So my question is, where are the men? Okay. And I'm married, okay, but my sister, y'all, is gorgeous. 2 beautiful sisters, smart, educated, wants to be married. And the women in my church, our church is full of beautiful Christian saved women. And I'm not just saying beautiful as passing. I mean physically pretty and smart and educated, well-spoken. They don't have the attitude, I don't need no man. None of that is going on. These women want to be married. And I'm like, where are the men? And so I'm going to talk about this more later, but where are the men at? Where are y'all? Okay, white girls, y'all chime into this. I'm not just talking about black men. I mean men. Okay, good old country boys, the white boys with the dirty hands that they got the pants sagging because they fixing, you know, under your sink or changing the oil in your car. Good old dirty white boys is just working hard at the feed store, working hard. My brothers that are working at McDonald's, Burger King, Brahms, KF, they're just working hard behind the counter. Even
You're a lie. You're a goddamn lie. You know your sisters don't want men working at McDonald's. You know your sisters don't want men who are driving trucks. You know your sisters don't want the plumbers. You're a lie. And then you put God into it. Talking about, oh, my sisters are in church. Why don't they choose the men in church? It's funny how all the women who want men who believe in God and who go to church never choose men in church. Funny how that works. There's so many single men at church. They usually, do you know what they do? They friends on them and they call them my brother in Christ. So your brother in Christ is not good enough to be in a relationship with. Your brother in Christ is not good enough to get married to. Your brother in Christ is not good enough to go on a date with because he's not cool enough, because he's going to make you actually really go to church. But you're looking for a guy who believes in God out of church, who has the money and, you know, goes to the clubs and is gonna go take you shopping. And then you guys noticed how when she mentioned all the things that women have, she mentioned they have degrees, they're educated. Like, men really care about those things. She never mentioned they're kind. She never mentioned they respect men. She never mentioned they can cook. She never mentioned any of those things.
Even some that are professional. You know, my Hispanic brothers, where are y'all at? Are y'all at Home Depot? Are you hanging out at Walmart Supercenter? Where are you? My other sister, we were talking about it, and she goes, well, maybe, women need to be taught how to do this and this. I said, it doesn't matter how the women need to be taught if once they're taught, the men are still not there.
That's not true.
Okay? You can get teaching all day how to be a great wife, how to be a great woman. But if there's no man there for you to practice your teaching on, it's not going to work. So I said, wait a minute, this don't make no sense. Y'all, Sunday, I got so frustrated because our church is so full of physically pretty women who want to be married, who love God. Some are divorced, some have never been married and want to be married.
Why don't you choose the men in the church? Ta-da! I just solved a rocket science formula. Choose the men in church. I mean, you go to church every Sunday, unless you only go to a feminist church where men are not allowed. But if men are allowed, go find the men in church every Sunday. But like I said, your friend zone those guys because they're not cool enough for you guys. They don't have the age. They don't have the gangster look. They don't have the macho man looking face. They don't have the tattoos. You call them brother in Christ. You only pray with them and give them the side hugs, the pat on the back as a hug. And you're talking about even if the women learn how to be wives, they're not good men. Who's teaching women how to be wives? Let me guess. It's probably because they came from a two-parent household. That means if there's a two-parent household, there's going to be good men also, because the dad is going to be available to raise the son into a good husband, into a good man.
They don't have this attitude. Like I told you, I don't need no man. Y'all, we don't even have that going on. They want a good Christian man that loves God and that will love them. They don't even have to make all this money and all this stuff. So my men, if y'all are still thinking that most women just want you with six figures, you got to be this tall to have, y'all brothers, this is white, black, Hispanic, Chinese, whatever your race is. A lot of women, y'all, don't even care about that no more. They don't care about that no more. They want you to love God and love them. You don't have to be even, look like Brad Pitt or my baby daddy was. I was hoping Idris Elba. Now, I'm married, so don't tell my husband I said that, okay? But anyway, or Morris Chestnut. Now, that's who I would have chosen, But he don't have to look like that. Just a good old country, or if you're up in the upper states, just a good man that loves God and loves you. If you get kids, one that loves your kids, that are trustworthy. I don't care if the man just got out of prison, if he's learned his lesson and did some things he's not proud of, that has completely been changed by the power and the message of God. So men, I want to know, where are you at? I need y'all to show up, because there are some beautiful single saved women that are needing you, that are looking for you, waiting to be found. I don't know where y'all are.
Men are frustrated and they're tired. First of all, they're tired of women who are liars like you. There's plenty of men who just came from prison who are changed men. There's plenty of men who are average men, who are plumbers, electricians, who got no criminal history. There's plenty of men who work at McDonald's, because you mentioned McDonald's. There's plenty of men who work at Walmart. You don't want those guys. There are plenty of men who drive trucks, but you don't want them because they're not going to take you to a $500 dinner first date. There's plenty of men in your church. Like I said, unless your church is full of women, it's a feminist church, men are not allowed, but I'm sure there are men in your church, but you don't want them because they're not cool enough. So until you start to address issues men have been talking about, the only issue you talked about is they don't claim to be strong and independent. Okay, I'll give you that, but let them look in church first. Let them address the concerns men have been talking about. You can't pick and choose when you want to be submissive. That's one thing men talk about. You can't decide what type of dinner date constitutes a good man. Because let's be honest, the good man these days, women talk about good men. To women, a good man is one who has money and willing to spend it on them. Oh no, just because you drive a truck and you have never committed a crime, and you dress well, you talk proper, and you don't disrespect people, and you're kind to the homeless, that doesn't make you a good man. Oh no, a good man to them is a man who has money, willing to spend it on them.
But it show up, say, hey, I'm here, I'm single, I love God. If you've been looking for a beautiful, safe woman, even if, y'all, it could be in a different state. I don't know how people are meeting people because I've been married for so long. I don't even know how people meet anymore, but except for online. But we got to have the single men who want to find a good woman and the single women who need to find a good man. Y'all got to connect. Y'all got to connect some way. Y'all got to, I don't know how. If you got an answer, let me know. But I'm a married woman, but it bothers me because I'm surrounded by so many good single women who want to be married. I'm like, what is going on here?
Good to you? Ask the men they've dated before. If you really want to know if a woman is really a good, so-called good woman, ask the exes, ask the men she dated, and be like, hey bro, I want you to be honest with me. Would you advise me to date this woman seriously? Most men will be honest and be like, bro, no. She's gonna call you out. The moment you stop taking her to expensive dates, she's gonna call you broke. She's gonna look you a certain way. She's gonna disrespect you. She's gonna say she doesn't need you. The moment you don't accept all her kids, she's gonna say you're not a real man. So the best way to know if a woman is really a good woman, you have to ask her exes. You have to talk to her exes.
I got family members, educated, beautiful women that want to be married, and I don't know where the men are. So, hey,
the men are tired.
If y'all know, let me know. Because single men and single women, come on, divorced, whatever your situation, never been married, whatever your situation is, y'all got to link up. Y'all got to connect some way.
Men are tired, and y'all didn't listen. So men are checking out because it's like, I'm going to make all this investment. What am I getting in return? Oh no, you get nothing in return. You're a real man. Real man provides, protects. I'm a queen, so you provide for me, and everything I say goes. You don't get a say. You don't get to tell me what to do, because then you'll be controlling, narcissistic man. You don't get to tell me if I can cook or clean because you're the man. I'm independent. I'm in a relationship, but I'm still independent. I can do what I want. So men look at that and they're like, oh, they weigh the options and like, you know what? I think it's better I work, save my money for my retirement, and live in peace and order my Burger King, and I'm good. But what do you guys think about that? All right, next we are going to this podcast. It's called the Unquestionable the podcast, talking about men who are falsely accused, and it was a woman who was talking about the experience of men. So I like when women talk about experiences men go through, and just to highlight that, what, maybe men really go through a lot, and this is a very serious issue. So many guys are falsely accused of things that didn't really happen because a woman regrets her decisions, whatever she did with a man, or maybe the man doesn't want her anymore, or maybe she wants the money, especially for celebrities. Once a man is really making good money, then years down the line, the woman claims the man did something to her. Now she wants money. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Speaking, statistically speaking, predators tend to be in careers where they have access to children. But I feel the same way about my boys. And I think
because you never know. You never know.
Yeah, and I feel like with young boys, when it comes to that kind of stuff, there's not as much awareness around it as there is little girls. Like, we're really quick to protect little girls. And so many things have happened to young boys that they've had to suffer in silence about, because that same protection for young boys is not there the way that it is for girls
because it's not what everybody's talking about. It's not what everybody's worrying about.
You know, and then just even like, dude, I even think about with my sons, like the Me Too movement and just like when they get older and hell nah. You know what I mean? Like no is a complete sentence. Don't even put yourself in any kind of situation for any kind of fucking female to be on some bullshit because females be on some bullshit. Yeah. You know? And it scares me a little bit, especially y'all in the date. Well, I don't know. You gotta go. You guys, whatever. You guys got partners or dating, whatever the hell. It is a hard time.
Oh yeah.
For you guys. Okay. I feel for it.
It could take just a change of heart to turn into something for some people.
And it's crazy too. I'm not gonna lie. I've had stories too where like the no was there and I was like, oh. But I was, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
So, but deep down, you're like, oh, really? No? And then no, but no's no. And like, you know what I'm saying? You almost are like trying to like convince her almost to not. And then it's like, no, no's no.
Yeah, that's called coercion.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I had a homegirl, right? We're not homies anymore, but she had an encounter with a guy, right? She was on him. She hella liked him, whatever. She called me the next day. She was like, yeah, we did whoop whoop. And I was like, cool, right? So a year or so passes, she meets a guy that she's really serious with, right? And then she's like, so I was thinking about that one guy I was with, and I think he raped me. Oh, I can't say that. Great. Bust it out because then it'll demonetize you. And I was like, you totally wanted him. You totally called me. You totally told me all the details. Yeah. Like, what do you mean right now? But I think it was like the shame attached to the fact that because it was just like a one-night stand. It wasn't nothing serious with homie, right?
Yeah.
The shame that I think she felt that she allowed herself to go there. And then when she met a serious guy, I think to herself, she was trying to make it seem like he overstepped or whatever. But he was like way tossed and she wasn't way tossed. Like she was fine, right?
Imagine that situation where the guy was more drunk than the woman, but then months or years later, she claims he abused her. Like, that's scary to most men. The false accusations. And the thing is with the false accusations about a man, it destroys it destroys you right from the get-go. It's not like, oh, it's innocent till proven guilty of a man. No, it's just like right away. The moment it gets, especially gets to the police or maybe it gets to the HR, they don't wait to figure out, oh, is this true? Keep working. No, it's like you're destroyed as a man. So most guys are like, okay. Because it's not that, because you could be in a relationship with a woman for 2 years and she could come back and say some shit like that just to destroy your whole career, just to destroy your life. So this is a serious issue men fear. So shout out to this lady for even acknowledging, because we know most women don't acknowledge this about men. So it's a scary thing, and most guys are like, with this dating shit, I'm not messing with women anymore because this is a serious issue. Some guys are in prison for decades because a woman falsely accused him.
I think about shit like that. And I'm like, God forbid my sons were to have an encounter with a girl. She fully is, fine with things. Mm-hmm. And then months later is like, the shame that I feel is uncomfortable. So I'm just going to say that you took advantage of me. Hell no.
That ain't right. Yeah.
And the reason they know they can come back and make up some accusations is because they know people will believe them. And because they know the power they have and the power they have over the man by making up some accusations, because they know that will destroy a man. So that's a scary, that's probably the most scary thing any man could face. Because other things, oh, you stole, oh, you did this, a man can fight. But a couple tears here and there, and then the man's life is destroyed.
That's taking
that shit is common. Yeah,
that
shit is very
common.
That
shit happened to me. And then fucking months later, the same thing tried to happen. I didn't say this, say that. Mm-hmm. I'm like you said, I was fucking butt skunk drunk. I don't know what the fuck you were on. You didn't seem that drunk. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, so what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, and those kinds of allegations,
it's hella serious. It's hella serious.
Bro, that shit fucks with someone's life. Career, reputation, everything.
Oh yeah,
everything. And being someone who that happened to me when I was 13, That's not something you fucking play about. That shit has real repercussions. There's real scars there, real things that I've had to work through to overcome intimacy, to just overcome anxiety in parenting, like all kinds of shit. It's not just like, oh, I busted it open one night, I regret it now, you know, to evade responsibility. I'm gonna whatever. Hell no.
And like you said, it's evading responsibility. The shame forces them to try to cope with it however they can.
Make themselves feel better in a way, you know?
It's too common than not nowadays, too, because you see all these fucking cases and they're getting braided out for all this shit. So they're, like you said, oh, the shame's too much. Fuck it, let me get a bag. Let me go say this and say that. It's like, bro, why?
We talked about it in even a previous podcast. There was like NCAA athletes who've lost their professional career because of lies. And they came back, the case was over too late. At that point, he's 28, 29.
They don't want him no more. Whatever it may be.
They don't want him no more. And
he had to do time that he didn't even, for something he didn't do.
Or even the Weinstein shit, right? That was like have you guys gone down the rabbit hole with that?
Not deep, but
okay. So it on the outside looking in, right? If you look at just social media and the testimonies, whatever, it looks like, damn, this guy really took advantage of a lot of, actresses that were up and coming. But these actresses that testified, right, were asked to describe what his genitalia looked like. He had gotten gangrene on his balls years ago, so he doesn't have nuts. All of them, their testimonies were false because they described his genitalia as like, yeah, well, he has nuts and he has his penis and this, that, and the other, which is not true, because if you would have seen his genitalia, you would know he has no nutsack. So it's like, all these women.
That's funny. Oh my God. But this goes to show, man, especially for the athletes, once an athlete is accused of some shit like that, endorsement deals, the team cuts him off, and by the time they find the truth, years have passed, he can't play anymore, he has lost money. So for me, I wish, and it's like he can't even sue the woman because she's broke too. Like, she can't pay him millions and millions of dollars for the time and the lies and the reputation. The only thing they can do is put her in prison. So until they start to make laws that say, hey, listen, if you accuse someone about something that may put them in prison and make them lose lots of money and ruin their reputation, if we find out you're lying, you're going to jail for the same amount of time they're going to go to jail. Until that law passes, it's going to keep going on. So what men do, I mean, I guess you got to keep the text messages, you got to keep the videos, whatever you guys are talking about, record the phone conversation, whatever it is to protect yourself for evidence. But at the end of the day, even if you have the evidence, once she makes the accusation, other people don't care about your evidence. Your life is ruined at the point she makes the accusation.
That's fucking scary, because even when I first heard that story, I was like, oh yeah, this is Hollywood, the elite. Like, I was like, fuck yeah, there's
I'm in.
And he looks a little weird, but then when you actually look at the facts, you're like, whoa, hold on. I give it to a few. Maybe he did some weird shit, trying to coerce, suck my wee wee, I'll give you a roll. But I don't know. I think you would notice if a man was missing nuts.
Exactly.
I would think so.
I mean, it's just crazy. Like you said, the culture nowadays, I mean, the dating culture is just different, bro. I mean, now everybody's woke. You're so fucking woke. But then it's like, are you really? Or you just fucking retarded? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people just be stupid, bro.
Yeah, some people just don't even think of the repercussion of getting like how they're just gonna throw an allegation like that and then it was totally false. Like,
totally fucking.
What were you
false.
thinking that they weren't gonna find out?
Yeah, because there are no repercussions, there are no consequences. Like I said, until they put a law that, hey, listen, if you falsely accuse a man, these are the repercussions if we find out you're lying. If he's going to get 25 years, if you find out you're lying, you're going to get 25 years. Until that time, unfortunately, it's going to keep going on. And the best thing men are doing right now is literally, I guess, not deal with women at all. Or get on the plane, passport bros, whatever it is. But men, shout out to this podcast. I'll put the link down below to the full video. What do you guys think about that? All right, next. We got Kendra G. This woman, 56 years old, divorced mom to 5, wants a new loyal man who's going to accept her have 5 kids and marriage. Oh my God. This is sad. Let's go.
Oh, my name is Iris.
Iris. Okay. Well, let me get a sheet of paper. It might be time for a new notebook. I think it is. Let me figure it out. Shall I get a clean sheet of paper? Ooh, a little strange. Iris, where you calling me from?
I'm calling from Brookhaven, Pennsylvania.
PA. Okay, the second person from PA today. PA. How old are you?
I'm 56.
56. What you do for a living?
I'm a notary / manager.
A notary. Okay. A notarist / manager. Do you have any kids?
Oh, yes, I do. They all grown. I have 5 children by my ex-husband over the age of 25.
Okay. How old are your grown kids?
The oldest one is 39.
39.
36, 34, 25, and 24.
And they're all by your ex-husband?
Yes.
When did you guys get divorced?
15 years ago.
Okay. What's your zodiac sign, Iris?
Pisces.
Oh, Iris, you're 56. Pisces. I wrote it down without even realizing it. Okay. So here we go. We got Iris, PA, 56, Pisces. Notary. How do you pronounce it again?
It's a notary.
Notary, and also a manager. Mom of 5 grown kids, all by her ex-husband. Okay. What kind of man you looking for, Iris girl?
I just want somebody that's knows what they want and has their life together and that's loyal, and willing to build, because I'm a big motivator. I have other things I do on the side and invest in different things, and I'm always trying to upscale myself. So I would want them to be like always trying to do better.
Willing to build at 56? I mean, I let it play at the beginning because I wanted you guys to get the context. She's 56 with 5 grown kids, so I guess the new man won't really have to be stepfather like that. But she wants a man who's willing to build. Like, you're 56. Like, what is there to build? It's either he's already built something, you already built something, and you guys just enjoy each other's company, but willing to build. To build what? Building is for young people, if I'm going to be honest.
You want them to try to do better too. Okay. What are your deal breakers?
My deal breaker is just disloyalty, liars, basically disloyalty and liars. Everything else should fall in place. If you ain't disloyal, if you ain't a liar, we good.
Okay.
But you are not loyal to your husband, to your ex-husband. You broke up in marriage 15 years ago. So how loyal are you? Because I'm sure you took vows, right? Unless you got married without vows. But I'm guessing you'd say to death do us part. So how loyal are you again?
Okay. Be loyal and not a liar. Should he look a certain way?
No, you ain't gotta look a certain way. You know what I'm saying? You don't.
Okay.
As long as you, like I said, got yourself together.
Okay. I'm assuming you don't mind what's the age range you want to date?
Oh, I'll take from 45 to 65, anywhere between that age.
45 to 65. Okay.
So she's 56. She wants a man 45 to 65. Now, unless she's willing to be a sugar mama, she's not like a bad-looking woman, but unless she's willing to be a sugar mama to a 45-year-old man, I don't see a 45-year-old man going for a 56-year-old woman. I mean, she's she's okay looking, but she's not like Halle Berry looking, Halle Berry type. She's not, you know what I mean? She's not like Beyonce looking, if you know what I mean. So unless she got money for a 45-year-old man, she's gonna spoil him, take him on dates, and pay for his flights. Very few 45-year-old men, even broke ones, are willing to do that. Now, a 65-year-old man, if he has money, he's probably going to go for a 45-year-old woman. If he's broke, he may go for her. But then at the same time, she will say she wants a man who is stable. So it's gonna be tough because she's been divorced for 15 years. If she hasn't found somebody by then, by now, whew, I don't know, man.
Should he make a certain amount of money?
Here we go.
No, long as he, like I said, long as he makes enough to take care of himself, like me. I take care of myself, own my house, own everything. Yeah, long as he got his life together, we can build on.
Okay. Okay. All right, let's do the Kendra Cam.
Oh, Kendra Cam, I got to turn around 1 minute.
Let me see this outfit, girl. I see the top. Let me see this outfit, girl.
She has so many.
Like that's just a shawl. I really I'm a person that wears high heel shoes all the time too. Let me see if I can go there.
56. I see you, girl.
Tats on the thigh.
I missed the ring in your mouth.
I can tell she was a freak when she was younger. Huh? Tats on the thigh, like a woman to get tats on the thigh, because she has to show them off, which means she has to put on something that's short. Sometimes she's a freak. She probably still is a freak. Now that's something men may like. They may choose her for that.
You saw it.
Let me see what you got. You got a ring in your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh my God, ring on the tongue. Freaky, yeah.
I say you spicy. Okay.
Oh, definitely spicy. But the thing with me being older, I'm not like you gotta be spicy with whoever certain people. Can't be spicy with everybody.
Can't be spicy with everybody. I feel you, girl. Okay. Can't everybody won't get the spice.
That's right. Everybody won't get the spice.
When was your last relationship?
A year and a half ago. I usually don't even tell nobody my age.
Well, how old? I mean, you do look younger. I forgot when I was looking at going through your kids, and I was like, oh yeah, she's 56. So how old do people normally think you are?
Oh, never that. They never guess that one. They say 40s and stuff like that. And when I go out with my daughters, they think I'm as young. I'm their sister, like stuff like that. Yeah.
My bad, guys. My mic was off. I was saying that I hope she's not. I hope it's not other women who are telling her she looks 40, because I know she has makeup on. So I would love to know what she looks like without the makeup. Because probably the people who tell her she looks 40, she doesn't look 56, is other women, and we know women like to gas themselves up. So.
Ooh, okay. All right. So don't get it twisted. You don't have to answer, but I'm gonna ask. When's the last time you was intimate with someone?
It's been a long time. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Three flaws you have to work on.
Overthinking.
Okay.
I'm an overthinker. Yes, I am. Overthinker, and I care too much too soon. I gotta chill and lay back.
Why do women give that as a flaw? And why do they give flaws that men can't? Like, you need to give types of flaws that men who want to date you can decide how that's going to affect their relationship directly. Because you caring too much doesn't affect a man at all. Men love women who care. Like, give me flaws. Are you masculine? Do you talk too much? Like, are you tough to deal with, always arguing? Those are the flaws men want to know.
This is a common theme with ladies. The last lady said she cares too much. I think what happens is, I don't even know because it's so far removed. I don't know if they still tell the Cinderella story in like elementary school. And what happens is, Cinderella's story, it brainwashes you as a woman because it gives you this fake delusion of this perfect relationship, perfect marriage, happily ever after that never exists. So women are programmed to live in that fantasy of what a relationship is. And whenever you normally meet a guy, it's like, he's the one. And I think women are starting to finally learn, like, listen, before you fall so hard for a guy, let him earn it. Like, spend some time with him first. Don't, because I feel like a lot of times women meet a guy and they make him husband. Maybe not your case because you was actually married and you got 5 kids.
I was married for a long time because my mom taught us You got to make the marriage. You don't just get married and everything's a miracle. Everything comes together. You got to make it.
No, I believe that to be true. Everybody that I know that's married, I mean, they work at it. It's not an easy thing. But nevertheless, but going back to you caring so much, because you're the second person that said that today, that I want to not care as much. So I think it's just give your heart to the person who deserves it. Don't just give it to them automatically. Let them earn it, and then this way you won't feel like you gave more than you should have.
Right.
Okay.
That was some BS advice, and the reason I'm saying that because women have so many options. Like men approach them so many times. So the only time they claim they care too much is from the 2 out of 100 men that want them. They never claim they care too much about the average guy or the guys they don't want. No, they claim they care too much about that one guy they really wanted, but he didn't want them the same, or he didn't want them at all. That's the only time they care. They claim they care too much. But if you ask all her exes, they will say, she says she cares. I never saw it. You feel me? But anyway, shout out to Kendra G. I just thought I should react to this and show you guys where dating is, because this lady is competing. She's 56, 5 kids, divorced. She's competing with a 25-year-old woman for the same kind of man, because she said 45 to 65. So she's competing with a woman who's 25, who's 30, who's 35, who's 45 for the same kind of man. It's tough out here. It's tough for men, but it's tough out here for women as well, as you can see. All right, next we're gonna do this TikTok. Never mind. We're gonna do Lapif. So let's go. Link down below.
When you're growing a business, right? You're looking at it in the wrong way. Look at it as you want this business to be a multi-million dollar business. Okay, so if you're starting up and you can't find a receptionist, then since it's you and your husband's business, you be the receptionist for the moment. And then eventually you could train and hire and find a receptionist to replace you. Then you start moving up or whatever. It depends on what the business needs. So for you to, I guess, say you won't do it means that you're not ready to be a millionaire then.
No.
Yeah, that's what you're saying, because you're not ready to help.
And this is there only one road to being a millionaire? Is that what we're saying?
This is what's happening. This is what happening when women prioritize their jobs over the best interests of their relationships or the direction of the husband. You get a group of women who put all of their eggs in this basket of being to work towards their dream. And then an election happened. And then they drop 180,000 DEI hires. And not like there's going to be a whole bunch of things humble you when you follow an exterior leadership or wealth generating resource outside of your husband's, when you got an opportunity to be up under your husband's wealth generator resource. Can't you see how it's actually better optimized to do it as a family? You get what I'm saying? To make money as a family. If we're talking about you have the opportunity. He's opening up his pharmaceutical practice, and he just wants you to work it. You guys are going to be well off. Your kids are going to be well off. But he cannot do it alone. He needs you by his side.
They see that as loss of independence. They see that as slavery. Unfortunately, they see submission or being on a man's program as they're losing their freedom. But it's like, you can't have freedom and independence in a marriage. You are one. So why are you getting married to a man whose vision you don't want to be a part of? I've even heard of stories of where some women, wives actually, because contrary to what most people believe, women who don't want to be wives, women who don't submit, get married every day, because like some guy said, there's always a simp born every day. Some men are desperate to that extent. So a woman will get married to a guy she doesn't really want, only because he's going to pay maybe 70 or even 100% of the bill. So she'll be like, you know what, rather than be single, let me just get married to this guy. I don't really like him like that, but since he's going to pay the rent and I'm going to move in with him, I'll do that, because she still works, so she'll save her money. So some women buy I've heard of this. Some women buy birthday gifts for their bosses and they've never bought a birthday gift for their husband. I'm telling you.
Not saying I wouldn't help. I'm saying, does that it literally requires you leaving the career that you're passionate about? Like, you have to just
it requires you to put all your energy and all your efforts into the purpose that he outlined for you and his family in the future. It requires that. I'm telling you.
They don't want to do that.
They
don't want to do it.
You cannot you cannot divide your energy and sell yourself thin for your boss and your husband or your partner outside of it.
But if it makes sense to do that, then yes, because that's what you do.
It does make sense.
If it no, because in every situation that doesn't make sense, I'm just saying, if it makes sense, if it's feasible and if it won't hurt the family, then yes, because a lot of those decisions do hurt the family, don't get me wrong. If in that situation that it makes sense for her to do that, then yes. If not, a woman does not have to compromise her goals and her career.
I think y'all being extreme. Give me an example of it not making sense.
Then if she doesn't want to compromise, maybe don't get married. And this is the thing, we have not been taught. I'm not saying I am an expert, right? But I can tell you I was not taught how to be a doctor, so I know I wouldn't be a good doctor right now. I wouldn't want to claim to be a good doctor. So in the same breath, we have not been taught how to be married, how to be wives, how to be husbands. So most people do it for the sake of it. And when it comes to women, they will marry a guy who's willing to provide. They don't like him. They don't want to be wives. They don't want to do wifely duties. But because he's going to do something they want, they will just bite the bullet and get married to him. And we all know that usually leads to sexless marriages, because once they get married, they know if he decides to leave or if she decides to leave, she'll take the house, she'll take the kids, she'll get alimony. So they don't care. They gain more if they get married rather than just being single, right? So why get married if you think his vision is not good enough, if you think you're compromising yourself? So in other words, they want to be single and married at the same time. It doesn't work like that.
Can you give me an example of what you mean by not making sense? Well, if you're going to do that, fuck it then. Don't do it.
No, I'm saying.
She already said the key point when she said a woman doesn't have to compromise her goals or her career. So I think that speaks to the sentiment.
No, I'm saying it's just it's always automatically assumed that the woman must give up herself to her man's dreams, and it shouldn't have to work
we
that
did
way.
We did it for 100 years straight, from 1930 all the way up into the late Vietnam War up in the 1970s.
I know, and
for y'all,
and a lot of those women
y'all
were
can't
very
turn around
miserable.
This is what we got to deal with. Men have been doing this, dying in droves.
So
for you to go out here and carry on like this, and y'all can't return the favor for your husband. We did it in millions, thousands of men did it just for the sake of all of us. But y'all can't do it just for your husband. Like, wow.
I just wanted to present a question kind of to Amir's point, right? She stated that, these guys would have low testosterone or, so basically these guys that women are describing, they come in like simp mode, right? Do you think it's more important to have a man that's more masculine? Because there are dudes who are going to cooperate like this. There are guys, I already know it. I see it. There's plenty of guys who are going to, yes, honey, all that shit, right? They're going to absolutely be a
happy wife, happy life. There are guys who will marry this woman. Obviously, she was married before, now divorced, but there are guys absolutely who will marry a woman like her.
Agreeable and all of that stuff. Is it more important to have that in your life as a simp, or do you think it's more desirable to have somebody who's actually masculine, who actually can take a lot of the strain off of you and make things easier and just be a man? Which would you rather? What do you think is most important? Because trying to put them together, they don't really infuse. It's an archetype or the other. It doesn't come with both of those. What do ladies think is most important to you? Which would you rather have? You don't have to go at once, but
come
Dr.
on.
Mario, you muted.
I think Frazier, by calling him a simp, might have thrown the whole thing off. Maybe if you just described him as
okay. Well, let's not call him. Let's not call him what he is. Let's just say a man like that. Let's just do that.
So let me rephrase for you, Trev. So I can present it on equal. So would you prefer a man who requires you to default to whatever his plan is and follow his vision, pretty much with knowing that he has the family at the front of his mind and he thinks this is best and it's a decision that you may not agree with, but the man that you're with almost requires you to be on board with that? Or would you prefer a man who you could veto his word and say, hey, I don't think that's the best plan and we're gonna do it this way? Like, which one is that? Is that kind of how you was asking the trail without adding the colorful language to either side?
Basically picking a man who's a leader.
Close enough.
And picking a man that's not a leader. So a leader is basically they have kind of like I'll say the last
structure.
Say into things, right? They're leading the family. And then you have someone that's not leading the family. It's more like we're gonna make the decision, or you're gonna make the decision, and then we're gonna go with that. Which man would you choose?
Crickets.
Okay. So I'm in a gray area at this point. Mostly just because I don't follow anybody. I
That's why you're divorced
with people. I pick someone whose vision is in line with mine as well. We have to have the same ideas about life. We have to have the same goals for our lives and our families. So in that case, if I am with a man who aligns with my vision for my life,
she wants to be that leader.
Then yeah, sure.
And I told
but
you.
I can tell she's a masculine woman. So the title is definitely spot on, for sure. Because obviously she's divorced for a reason, because she couldn't follow her man. But this is the thing, it's like they want to, like I said, women want to be single but married at the same time, or single but in a relationship. It doesn't work like that. It's never gonna work. Now it could work if she gets a man who's just gonna let her do whatever she wants, but eventually she's probably gonna cheat on him, or sexless marriage. Something is gonna happen where she's gonna yearn for a guy who will put her in her place, like they like to say. But anyway, man, shout out to LaPF, link down below. All right, next we got this guy, man. He came to Kendra G's show. He was kind of timid, kind of very shy, a virgin. Let's get into it.
You have any kids?
Nope.
Ever been married?
No.
And zodiac sign?
I'm a Leo.
So we got Carson, Chicago, 22, Leo. Amazon, works for Amazon, no kids, never married. What kind of woman are you looking for?
I need somebody who's loyal, you know, and you know, somebody who's, you know, who's more understanding, you know, and because I'm a loyal person myself, you know, so I'm just like into loyal people. So
what are your deal breakers?
Like I said, like no disrespectful. I hate disrespectful women.
What are you looking at? Why you not looking at me?
Oh, you know, when I be talking, I just be I be having a hard time, like, you know.
Okay, so I know you're 22, but you should always look a person in the eyes when you're talking to them. It's disrespectful to look off to the side unless you want to show disrespect. You don't look him in the eyes. Shout out to young Jeezy. I remember one time I did an interview with Jeezy, and he always wears sunglasses. And he told me he used to wear sunglasses in interviews because you just can't look people in the eyes because that means a sign of respect. So
I get it. Okay. I get it.
So look at me. All right, answer the question now.
Okay. What were you asking again?
your deal breakers?
Oh, like I said, no disrespectful woman, and I hate ghetto women too. You know, I can't stand them, to be honest. That's just
No
me.
sexy red.
And
Okay, that's fair.
I'm looking at you too, so. And I don't want nobody who's, you know, I'm trying to think.
He's shy.
I don't like nobody goofy. I don't like goofy type of woman.
Okay. Okay.
You know, that's all I can think of. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay. Should she look a certain way?
Not really. I'm free, whatever. Well, no. You know what? I like, you know, I'm into light skin type of woman, and
light skin.
I'm mostly into light skin.
They're gonna, you know, they're gonna call him a colorist, right? You know, black women, especially dark skinned women, are gonna call him a colorist. But we have seen women on these shows. They say they don't want light skinned men, and they call it preference. You know that, right?
That's
Watch.
You know that's just my personal preference. So
okay, that's fine. Light skinned women. Yeah. Should she make a certain amount of money?
No, as long as she have enough to take care of herself, that's all that matters, you know. So
okay. What about okay, let's do the Kendrick cam. That's when you stand up.
Okay. One quick second.
He's 22. He's trying. He's a youngin.
It might be an echo too because I'm putting this phone down. So.
Okay. We see. Is that your sneakers behind you?
You said what?
Sneakers?
No, these are my Sonic collections.
Oh, okay. Sonic. Oh, okay. Is that a thing?
You said what?
Is that a thing? A Sonic collection?
Yeah, I'm mostly into Sonic. You know, I'm a Sonic type of guy.
Kendrick Cribs. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. Women don't like nerds. They want the bad boys, unless you're a nerd and you're very rich and willing to spend. But comic books, into Marvel, gamers. These days they're trying to be into gamers a little bit. But other than that, I don't know. That's already a reason they're gonna reject him.
Carson, this echo is killing me. We're almost done. When was your last relationship?
You said what now?
When was your last relationship?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I wish I had an answer. Well, I never been to a relationship.
Okay. Speaking of which, somebody had this message for you. Where is it? Right here.
What they
Green said, 22, your life's just beginning. Go have fun and check back in at 25, maybe 30, if you really love the streets.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what to say about that one, but
yeah, he's 22. He still has so much time rather than trying out here to date, because him trying to date is just going to cost him money. Women cost money, if we're going to be honest. Dates, gifts, listening to their emotions, to their problems, you know, so it costs a lot. So at 22, if only I knew all this at 22, I would just focus on myself.
But yeah, my life is beginning. You know, I'm still young. You know, I'm still starting life up. So I'll take you up on that.
Okay. They're giving us echo information. Jasmine said it's the mic. You have to keep the phone up. The mic is blocked when you put it down.
Okay. I'm on it with both hands, so.
You're on it with both hands?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with this mic, child. Okay. You don't have to answer, but I'm gonna ask. Oh wait, hold on, one more. Hey Q. It says it was on the table. Turn his volume down. Is the phone still on the table?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm on the desktop.
Okay. All right. Ooh, let me take this off. Okay. You don't have to answer, but I'm gonna ask. When's the last time you was intimate with someone?
Never.
You're a virgin.
Yeah, I never been to a relationship. Never had sex. So
I'm proud of you.
It's tough out here for men. I mean, when we tell women that some guys have never even been on a date, most guys, because I can guarantee you, he has approached some women. He just gets rejected. It's not like, oh, now maybe it's his thing, but very few men. If women were approaching him, good-looking women, he wouldn't be a virgin. But guys are struggling out here.
And you know what? I don't even want, when you ask me, do I have any kids? I don't want kids at all. I'm just not ready for that type of lifestyle, you know. I'm not ready to be a father figure, because I'm already an uncle, that's easy, but I'm just not ready to that type of lifestyle, to become a father and be more responsible. Like I'm just not ready for that,
Okay.
Okay. Listen, I am very proud of you. 22 years old. It shouldn't be a wow factor to meet a 22-year-old guy that hasn't been intimate yet. But that's the way it should be. Like we should expect it more than not. So, and I also love that you understand the reality of becoming a parent. You're not just out here trying to create a child and not be there for your child. Like you're well aware of the commitment you would have to make, the lifestyle difference. So don't lose those qualities.
I won't. I still got a lot
Remember,
to think
look me in
about,
the face. Look me in the face.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
He's shy.
Yeah, you're right. Like I said, I'm 22. I still have, a lot to go through, so I have a lot to learn. So when the time is right, then I'll be ready.
I love this. I love this.
Yeah, but the issue is, right? He's doing a good thing. He's a virgin, just young and things like that. But I can guarantee you, one of the reasons he's still a virgin at 22 is because women don't like inexperienced men like him. They will choose a baby daddy with 3 baby mamas over him. Are we going to be honest today, or are we just going to lie? Women would prefer a man, a future, actually, not even just a random man. Women would rather have future with 10 kids and 10 baby mamas over a man who's a virgin. Now, if he had some money, okay, maybe then it could change. But just from the fact that he's a virgin, no kids, women will pass him over and choose a man who has baby mamas.
Now, are you waiting for a relationship, marriage? Is there a goal, or just this you haven't did it yet?
Not really. I'm not gonna lie to you, Kendra. I'm mostly just looking for somebody to go outside with, because I don't really be outside that much. I'm mostly looking for, fun time with, any type of female. I'm just being honest with you. Like,
now, let me ask you this.
I don't do well. I had this but I don't really do nothing a lot because I have a lot going on with my personal self. That's that's stopping me of want to go out and do something outside. But I'm like I said, I'm a homebody, so. But I'm mostly looking for somebody to hang out with. That's all.
Okay, let me jump in. Let me jump in. When you mean fun time, because fun time means a lot of things on my show. So do you mean fun time as in literally go out, clubbing, partying, bowling? Or do you mean fun time and you want to have sex, but no, you still don't want to have sex. You want to just hang out?
The first, what you just said. What you said
the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want a girl? So this fun time, you're not expecting to be sexual with her?
No, I mean, not really, because I'm not too thirsty over sex like that,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Because
now,
oh well, real quick, because I never went bowling before. I never been to no club, or a bar, I never did any of that stuff. So I want to go outside, but I ain't gonna allow who the fuck to go out with. But
so you don't have no guy friends? Don't forget, look at me. So you don't have any guy friends either?
I do, but they with their baby mamas, and they got other stuff to.
Your 22-year-old guy friends have baby mamas?
Yeah, but
why is Kendra acting like this is not the reality of the community we live in? This happens like so often. So many guys have baby mamas. Women have kids too, baby daddies, and they come to your show every single day. Why are you acting like a 22-year-old man having baby mamas is or kids at all is something shocking. This is crazy. But this is the reality of most men. So unfortunately for him, the only thing I fear that he's gonna run into women who already have the experience and they're gonna ruin him. His first woman could become his baby mama. So he's gonna have to strap up. He's gonna be careful because more than likely the first woman he has sex with won't be a virgin, which means she would have had high experience and she could ruin him. So I'm scared for that. What do you guys think about that? Link down below. All right. Let's go to Just Probably Things, reviewing Kevin Samuels. Let's go.
But if you have made it to 35 years old and you're unmarried, you are a leftover woman. A leftover woman. You are what is left. Men know that there's something likely wrong with you. Whether you want to hear it or not, I'm going to just go there with you. I'm telling you the truth that you don't want to hear. Men know that there's something likely wrong with you, but you cannot be fit in an adjustable 6 or higher, 35, unmarried. Something wrong with you. That's where men automatically coming at it. And here's the thing. Just like when you were between the ages of 18 and 25 and you didn't want to settle, you were trying to get the CEO, the pilot, the investment banker, you were trying to get flued out. Here's what's going to happen. If you are a woman 35 plus and you want a man that's on the same lifestyle level, you're going to have to share it. All right, what do you think about sharing a man?
Okay, are we back? Yeah, okay, we're back. Okay. So I want to start and give your initial thoughts to this video, starting with you and then go around.
Starting with me. 35. You're left over. You're done out here. I disagree wholeheartedly with what he's saying.
Oh, you disagree?
No, I agree.
Oh, you agree?
I
disagree.
So you think it's over at 35?
Over 35. You know, there's all these people calling themselves 10s.
I'm just curious, how old are you?
40.
40. So how old would you date younger?
How old would I date?
Yeah.
30.
30? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that how old your girlfriend is?
No.
Oh, okay.
My missus is my age.
Oh, okay.
We're big people out here.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Okay, what about you?
I personally disagree. I'm 21, so I don't have that much experience in like the dating game and everything like that. But I feel like in my generation and like moving forward, I don't think that's possible because it's like we have people that are like public figures. For example, like just to use an example, like Kim Kardashian, she's like 40 years old. And she's still dating. She was in a relationship for like she was married for like how long? And it's like outside of that, you know, her breaking up with her husband and everything, she's still like kind of moving on, still dating. I don't think 35 I think 35 is too young for you to say that you're left over. I feel like that's still a bit too young, but that's just my opinion.
Okay, what do you think?
I don't think I agree with the term leftover in general. And I also don't think you should put an age on what you would term as leftover. I think I think age is irrelevant. I think it's completely based on who you are, character, all the different other attributes aside from age. Like just to say because someone's a certain age, they're leftover women. I think I completely disagree. That's my stance.
I think Kevin Samuels was saying leftover. Pretty much, not that they will never find a man, because I think that's what women interpret that as. He wasn't saying they would never find a man. You know, I think he was more saying like time is really running out, especially for the kind of man you want. Because at 35, I believe women still have options and lots of options. The only issue is as they get older, they raise their standards. So if she was at 25 and she was okay with a man who makes $50,000, at 35, most of them want men who make six figures. At 40, she's going to want more. At 45, she's going to want more, which means there's not enough men who are going to fit that criteria. So that's all Kevin Samuels was saying.
I agree.
You agree? Why?
Yeah, as a woman, I agree. Because most women over 35 who are single have issues.
Okay.
I was 35 at one point and I had issues.
Like,
you know, they've got issues. I mean, you're 35. Either if you're a virgin, I can understand, right? Then you're not left over. But if you're 35 and you've lived life and you've been through life, why should a man want you? I mean, everybody's looking at all these artists and all these stars. That's not reality. That's just one off. But at 35, I had issues at 35, so I can understand that. If you're not married at 35 or in a stable relationship, has to be something wrong with you. Otherwise, why aren't you in a relationship if you're that great?
That's true.
Go ahead. What do you guys think?
But in the video that we saw, he didn't say relationship per se. He said if you're not married. So would you say it's different if you're in a relationship? That
if you're good enough to be in a long-term relationship, you're good enough to get married. And if you're not, why ain't you?
Not everybody aspires to marriage, though.
That's very true.
That's the problem.
I don't necessarily think it's a problem. I just think that it's a different. I think over the different generations, there's different views. For instance, a lot of the women and girls I speak to my age say they put off marriage and having children till they're in their 30s. So I think times have changed in terms of, for instance, myself, I would consider marriage in my 30s. Like, and if I got to 35 and I wasn't married, I wouldn't necessarily see it as a problem and that there's something wrong with me. Yeah, I think just assuming that there's something wrong with someone that's not married at 35 is just, I think it's oversimplifying everything. And
I mean, there's nothing wrong with a woman who's 35 to, no, there's nothing wrong with a woman who wants to get married after she turns 30. There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. I think the issue comes when she thinks that the moment she turns 35, let's say she's 29 today, and when she turns 30 or 35, when she's 29 today or 30, 34 today, and then tomorrow is her birthday when she turns 30 or 35, that there's going to be, God will have a store of eligible husbands to pick up from. Because they always say, I'm going to wait till 30 to get married, like as if the moment she turns 30, there's going to be a big warehouse where God has been putting all these husbands ready for her to get married. It's like she's going to walk into the grocery store, pick a husband from the shelf, and that's not how it works. You know, I think that's the misconception most women think they have. They think, you know what, as soon as I turn 35, I have all these guys who want me at 25. Even at 30 and 35, I'll have the same guys who want me. And usually that's not how it goes.
I completely disagree again.
Wouldn't you say though, it's wouldn't you want to be married if there was a guy that checked all your boxes? Would you not want to marry him?
I mean, I feel like if it made sense, then yeah. I don't feel like people should. Well, firstly, I don't think people should rush into marriage. Firstly, like I feel like you should like kind of take time when it comes to that kind of stuff. But yeah, like if I found someone that literally ticks all my boxes and all of that stuff, 100% no.
So then by that logic, wouldn't you say that the women that aren't picked by 35, like the best guys picked the younger women and left everyone else over? Like in a way. Because if you survey men between the ages of 20 and 80 and you ask like what age do they find the most attractive, all of them find the ages between like 21 to 24 is like a girl's peak. And 90% of your eggs are gone by 30 and 50% of your options are gone by 30.
I wouldn't say you should say there's a peak time. I feel like when you're saying there's a peak time, you're basing it on looks primarily. I think there's so much more. Like you don't marry someone just based on looks.
Yeah, but the first thing men see is the looks. Now, later on, once they get to know you, they may find out you're a sweetheart. That's why some men get married to women who are not you think they're not the best looking. But that's because when they first saw them, they didn't say, oh my gosh, she's a good looking woman, I want to get married to, I want a relationship. No, they can stay around a woman who's not as good looking as the type they want, but over time, as they get to know her, they find out, and these days men will choose peace over beauty. We know that they would rather deal with a woman they don't think is as attractive, but who gives them peace over a 9 or 10 who's going to be a headache. We know that. But usually the first thing men want, is the beauty. Even women, actually, I think they're more critical of men's looks than men these days.
And between the ages of 21 to 24, that could be your peak, but you're finding yourself. So how can you say that, okay, a man should pick a woman at that age, but she doesn't even know who she is yet? I feel like once you put an age on these things, that's where like divorce tends to come in. Divorce rates are so high, I think, because you're putting time pressure on it. I don't think there needs to be a time pressure. And sorry, going back to your point about if a guy ticked all my boxes now, again, I wouldn't say that I'm ready, because I feel like I'm still finding myself at the age of 21. You haven't experienced life, you haven't done a lot of things, and again, this is why I don't think age should be the fact what we measure it by, because someone could be 35 and they haven't experienced life as much as someone who's 25, and that's a 10-year age gap, and they could have had completely different life experiences. So yeah, I think my problem is putting a time on it. So in terms of age, I think that's where the problem is.
So when they say I haven't experienced life, do you guys know what they mean? It's really being in the streets. Because what's that? I haven't experienced life. She's not saying I've not got all the jobs I want to get. It's usually I've not been in the streets, I've not traveled, I've not been out with my friends to hang out. It's usually that's what they call experienced life.
So do you not think it starts with looks?
Yeah, I think it starts, but it will stop at a certain point. Like, it will not be long lasting if it's just based primarily on looks.
So a question, would you agree men do value fertility? Like, in general, men prefer younger women.
Yeah.
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 So what age do you think it's over? When would you qualify women as leftover? Because at some point, like, the guys aren't lining up for girls at 75, right? So at some point it ends, right? Where would you pinpoint that? And I'm curious for you. Why don't you guys all give your answers? So when you start.
Okay. First of all, to be 21. But at 21, by the time you reach 35, what have you been doing? Like, say 20. We start our relationships, what did we say?
Speaking to the mic.
Oh, sorry, brother. Why did I have to be the first to do that? But yeah, so you start your relationships from like 16 to 35. All them years, what have you been doing? You've had ups, you've had downs. Going back to what you say, by then there's issues, there's trauma, there's, you've been through a lot. You've got certain guards up because you've been hurt in certain ways. You're seeing similar traits in partners that you saw in somebody else. That's why when I say at 35, if I see you at 35, I'll be able to recognize, okay, this has happened to you, that's happened to you, you've put this time frame on that, I don't want to do this until then. And at 35, what's that? Geriatric pregnancy. So it's high risk pregnancy. So for men, we have babies until the end of time. For you, from 35, it gets risky. It does. So you can say, if I'm single today, which I'm not, but if I was, I've got to go down the spectrum because I don't want that risk. Why am I going to have a risk? You're 35, you're going to have certain baggage because we all got baggage. So, but, by then it's other people's stuff that's coming into my relationship. And guess what? I don't want it.
I mean, at the end of the day, both men and women want different things from each other at the end of the day. But as we gain more experiences between each other, we tend to trust each other less, which evidently is going to be an issue in our future relationships. because we're going to trust each other less. The man has been through some shit. He has been used for free dinner dates. He has been ghosted. He has been used for his money. Maybe he has been divorced and the ex-wife took half his shit. So guess what? He's likely not not going to be into marriage again or get married again. So if he meets a woman who has never been married but she wants to get married, he's gonna be like, hey, listen, my ex-wife took half of my shit, so I'm not getting married again, but she wants to get married. Or maybe a woman has been with multiple guys who, you know, were toxic, and then this new guy, she's like, I don't want a toxic guy, or I don't want a controlling guy, just because the guy said make me a sandwich. So as we get older and all these experiences, the truth is we trust each other less. Guess what? It affects our relationships more, increasing more divorces, increasing breakups, and most of us are just going to be alone, which means at some point there could be an end to the humankind. What do you guys think about it? Shout out to Just Barely Things, link down below. So that was my time. So till next time, guys.